Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sportsnet.
It's here, and it's glorious. It's the NFL season. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We've got so much planned for today. This rundown is basically on fire right now. We'll get to our new King of the Mountain segment, where we will determine throughout the season what is the greatest NFL team of all time. We kick it off with a bang today, the 98 Vikings versus the 72 undefeated Miami Dolphins. This is nuts. But Perloff, this is your team mounting their title defense tonight. They've been downplaying the championship. No one wants to talk about it. No one wants to look at it. No one wants to rewatch the game. No one's going to be out there to watch the banner get hung in Lincoln Financial Field. Do you like how the Eagles are downplaying as opposed to saying, hey, we're the champs, come beat us? Instead, they're saying last year is over. It means nothing.
Last year, what happened last year? I don't even know what you're talking about. I love it because, listen, we all know the formula for what can go wrong with a champion. Egos get in the way, injuries happen, you lose guys to because of salary cap, you lose coaches. A lot of that is happening. They did lose coaches. Obviously, Kellen Moore down in New Orleans doesn't make me feel great exactly, and they lost some talent. The thing about the Super Bowl winner, you really have to keep focused. I think that for a team like the Eagles, you look at your quarterback. Jalen Hurts is obviously the leader of this let's not look backward movement. He's so stoic. It's incredible. Like, if you see any quote from him, it seems like he wasn't even happy the moment after winning the Super Bowl. And remember when Nick Saban would win the national championship and then he would go in the locker room and call recruits?
Yeah.
No joy. I love that out of my quarterback.
No joy.
Yeah.
Do not enjoy this.
So I think Jalen Hurts, you might not think he's a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but as far as sort of leadership and intangibles of a quarterback, he is top notch. And I feel like he's setting the tone here. His sort of non-smiling attitude, like, you know, they're not going out to celebrate the banner ceremony tonight. That turns out might be more logistical than actually inspiring.
Right.
But I feel like Jalen Hurts is not going to let this team look backward. So I think it's really, really good because I don't think the Eagles are so good that they're just going to roll over everybody and get to the Super Bowl. Like, it's a thin margin at the top. Even last year, they barely beat the Rams. You know, the Packers gave them a tough time. Yeah, they clobbered the Commanders and the Chiefs, but I don't think they're so far head and shoulders above everyone else that they can let any kind of letdown sneak in. So this, to me, is a really, really good idea.
Do you think it's going to work?
Ultimately, we're doing a Super Bowl picks later in the show. I have some concerns about the Eagles. I have some concerns
It's a
about
safe space, sort of.
the wear and tear of going so deep into last year with Saquon Barkley. That's my number one concern.
Yeah.
I do worry that they had a great run of health on defense last year. Always really, really scary. I am not picking the Eagles this year.
Okay.
Are you?
Well, I still think they're the team to beat in the NFC. But the one thing about Jalen Hurts, you're right about this. The Eagles are a team, and Philadelphia is a city, quite frankly, that I don't think really does well when they are King of the Mountain. This is a city that's more based on Rocky, you know, your fictional boxer, the underdog.
Yeah.
And Jalen Hurts with the air quotes disrespect of some people not putting him in the top 5 of quarterbacks. How dare they when you have a generational golden era of quarterbacks here.
Wait, Jalen Hurts didn't say that, though.
No, but there's no, Jalen Hurts would never say that. I don't know what he thinks publicly.
Right, okay, I just want to make that clear.
No, but like even his own, you know, there was trouble with the passing attack last year. A.J. Brown came out and said as much. I mean, the Eagles had to acknowledge that. Now they win, so all of that gets erased. But no, this is a very important corner for Jalen Hurts to carve out. The nobody respects me as the quarterback,
right.
Something that the team and the city and all of that can get behind, because it's really hard to find bulletin board material when you whitewash the Kansas City Chiefs in a Super Bowl. I mean, they are the dynasty of our era. Mahomes is the quarterback maybe of all time when all this is said and done. And you vanquish them.
Yeah.
So it's a little hard to say, well, you know, we're the little engine that could. This is the one area where you get to say maybe there is this Jalen Hurts disrespect and maybe they can all rally around that. Can I tell you what I think is the biggest thing standing in the way of the Philadelphia Eagles repeating as Super Bowl champs?
Yeah, what?
It's not the Rams. Spoiler, I don't have the Rams making the playoffs. It's not the Green Bay Packers. I have a whole reason, too, before Rams fans get mad at me. It's not the 49ers. It's not another team. It's the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like you guys at times are barely keeping things together, at least on the outside, right? That's the perception.
How so?
Because I always feel like this team is teetering, and maybe they need that. Maybe they need a little of that juice. But A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts, you will not convince me yet that relationship is totally kumbaya. I do, and maybe that's good for them. Maybe they need a little agita. Maybe they need a little angst between them. You will not convince me that Nick Sirianni is not going to do something that is distracting to this team in a bad way. You will not convince me that, everything is just going to go well. You talked about, I don't know if it's necessarily egos, maybe with A.J. Brown. It's not so much egos. I just think there's a vulnerability that did not show in the Super Bowl, that's for sure. You guys were dominant. But there is always this vulnerability. The city is always ready to turn on the quarterback. The city's always ready to turn on the head coach. And I think it's going to be a bumpier ride. And that's my thing. I think the biggest thing standing in the way of the Eagles are the Eagles and the expectations.
There are a couple things. Every great team has a diva wide receiver, right? Like the Chiefs had Tyreek Hill, who is always malcontent. A.J. Brown, by the way, was a malcontent in Tennessee. That's why he's not there. He's going to be a You have to. Every great team. We're doing the great teams. The 2007 Patriots had Randy Moss, who sort of malcontented his way out of Minnesota. That is part of this thing about being a great team. You're always going to have an unhappy wide receiver because that's how wide receivers are built. They need targets.
Yeah.
So every time the ball doesn't go to them, they get angry. That's what your great receivers do. So I can't look at that as a negative. Eventually, I'm sure A.J. Brown will be gone and the juggernaut will roll on. Now, here's the thing where I totally disagree.
Okay.
You're wrong about Sirianni.
Okay.
Nick Sirianni's a good head coach. I mean, he is.
What does he do?
He is large and in charge in that locker room.
No, Big Dom's large and in charge.
No, I think Nick Sirianni is secretly pulling the levers on the emotion of this team. I really do, and I never thought that until I got to the Eagles celebration party after the Super Bowl win in New Orleans, and there's an aura around that guy. First of all, he's a lot bigger than people think on the sideline.
I know you think that's important, that Mike McDaniel of the Dolphins is not big enough to command respect, like physically. Sirianni,
maybe it's because he just won a Super Bowl. He's got a lot of aura. Obviously the players love him. I think he is misunderstood. I really do. I was with you over the last couple of years. Like, what does this guy do? Like, don't let him call plays. That's never a good sign when you don't want your head coach to call plays.
Yeah.
But I think as far as what a coach actually does, Nick Sirianni is way better at it than you think he is, and a lot of people think he is.
Well, here's the thing about Nick Sirianni. They're going to need him a lot more this year because what happened last time when the Eagles lost coordinators after going to the Super Bowl, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right. Well, they lost their offensive coordinator, right?
Right. Well, no, it was Steichen and you
No,
also
no. I know, but I'm saying this year they only lost their offensive coordinator. Right,
Vic Fangio,
exactly.
Still with the defense. We all know Vic Fangio has been around forever. I'll give you $100 if you can name the offensive coordinator for the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
Andrew Bogusch.
He's not here today. That's where he is.
Here.
He's in Philadelphia designing up plays in the dirt for
Yeah,
Jalen
but
Hurts. His name's Kevin Patullo.
Counterpoint. Who thought Kellen Moore was designing a Super Bowl winning offense before last year?
I had heard of him. I mean,
yeah, because he was a sweet lefty quarterback at Boise State.
Did love him at Boise. Not so much with the Cowboys, but listen,
he's good with the Cowboys.
He was fine. They got better with McCarthy. That's fine. Whatever. So this is the thing. I don't know Kevin Patullo, and neither do you.
You don't know Kevin Patullo? Kevin? Kev?
Yeah.
Kev dog?
Yeah, Kev. Who's going to be, if somehow the Eagles, start the season 2-2, is probably going to be floating down the Schuylkill. So I just.
Oh my God! Did you just call it the Schuylkill?
Is that what it's called? The
Schuylkill.
Oh, right. Whatever. That river. So this is my point. You actually are going to need a little more Sirianni this year as far as the offense. And if I'm recalling correctly, the last time this happened when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl, you started off this next season gangbusters, right? 10-1. But it really fell apart, and we got a lot of reporting at the time that Jalen Hurts was not really in love with the offense, that he and Sirianni butted heads. Now, they all got over it, and they won last year. So I guess everything's fine. Wait 5 minutes. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. I don't trust the relationship between Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown, and I don't trust the relationship between Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni. So that's me. I'm not to rain on your parade. You guys are the winners. But if we really are turning the page, and if Jalen Hurts is throwing everything out from last year, well, then I get to turn the page too and wonder about these relationships and whether they're going to hold.
Well, I think the problem 2 years ago, one, they had these fossils at cornerback that were destroying them. I mean, remember when they traded for Kevin Byard, and first of all, he wasn't even trying. Second of all, he was so washed. Like, they got desperate in their back four. That was a big problem 2 years ago, and their offense struggled a lot, but their defense was so bad. The same thing could happen this year. Listen, not having C.J. Gardner-Johnson definitely bothers me. I think their back seven is the issue here. And can the offensive line stay healthy? Because obviously they've had a couple little nicks and bruises this preseason. But as far as the offensive coordinator, how hard is it? Like, I could offensive coordinate this team. All right, hike the ball, the offensive line, destroy the defensive line, and Saquon run through a giant hole. Touchdown. What is so hard about that, Maggie?
But here's the thing. Even you are very worried about Saquon's durability. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you don't have evidence. Like, he did have injuries earlier in his career. It's just literally the workload for someone like that. You usually don't see a great follow-up season.
Yeah, Derrick Henry's the freak. He can, because he's so strong.
Yeah.
But Christian McCaffrey 2 years ago was Saquon Barkley. You know, he was probably even more Saquon Barkley than Saquon Barkley. Totally fell apart. And Saquon's not young. So as he's 28, that is a concern. And their backup, Will Shipley, is a big fantasy darling right now. What does that tell you? Every league is scrambling to get Will Shipley. That is part of the concern. But again, one thing I disagree, and hey, I might be proven wrong, that Nick Sirianni is the man. He's like secretly, he's the godfather more than we know it.
That's disrespect to Howie Roseman.
No,
he's the godfather.
I got to tell you, I'll bet you even Howie defers to Nick Sirianni. I know that sounds crazy, but I think there's this idea that Nick Sirianni's just a puppet for Howie Roseman. He's this big, dumb, upstate New York guy.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more going on there.
It's not big, dumb upstate New York. It's just earnest, like in a way that it's kind of like he's more of a mascot than a head coach. I'm not calling him dumb. I'm just saying I think he is the rah-rah guy. He is the vibes guy. So more mascot than head coach. And here's the thing. Nick Sirianni doesn't even get to pick his assistant coaches. Like, who's the puppet master? Usually the coach at least has, the GM does the personnel stuff. They pick the players. And at least the coach can pick his own coaches.
Yeah,
that didn't even happen in Philadelphia.
Well, I think Sirianni's been after Vic Fangio forever. I think Sirianni's wanted. What happened last year was they wanted to get 2 years ago. They were otherhood.
Yeah, it's a family. I've never heard that before. Football team.
I got to tell you, at the very last moments of the Super Bowl, when Jalen Hurts hugs Saquon Barkley and says, "You are the reason we're here," and Saquon Barkley's like, "No, you are the reason," and it was just like a love fest.
Yeah. I almost had a tear there. That was really good.
I was weeping. I was openly weeping. I was like, no, you're both the reason. I love both of you.
The three of you guys get a room.
That would be interesting.
Gladly.
So the chat is mad at me, youtube.com/InfinitySportsNet, claiming I am disrespecting the champs. At least we're talking about the champs. This game has been so overshadowed by the dingbat Dallas Cowboys that you're lucky we're even giving the Philadelphia Eagles the 13 minutes that we've given them, because no one else is giving them that today. And by the way, I will say this game is actually way more important for Dallas than it is for Philadelphia.
Did I talk to Michael? Micah.
No-brainer.
Oh, I don't know if this is important. I mean, like, Dallas to get the play, they don't have to win in Philly to get the playoffs. Let's face it, if they lose this game, you lose at Philly on opening night where the home team's like 15-5. I don't think it's super important for the Cowboys.
No. It's not the money line I'm talking about. It's not the win-loss.
Your perception.
It's got to be how it looks. Nobody's expecting the Dallas Cowboys to win this game.
Wait, are we Jerry Jones? Are we all about perception? Like, this actually, we have a real season here. It's not about documentaries and talking heads. There's actually win-losses that happen here, Maggie.
Perception is all the Cowboys have at this point. This is it. The how people talk about the team is the only thing they have left. Just ask them.
You sound like Jerry. Who cares how they talk about the team? What is their win-loss record is all that should matter.
That's like 15th on the things that matter to Jerry Jones. But I was 100% proven right by that over the last 3 or 4 months. But
thank you for using the word dingbat Dallas Cowboys. You sound like my dad. That's an old expression.
I was going to say something worse, but it's terrestrial radio. We still are governed by the FCC. There are laws in this country. No, I think this is my thing is if the Cowboys get blown out, I'm not going participation trophies. It's the NFL. They're all pros. They're all getting paid tons of money.
Together.
But exactly, get your damn act together. And how much does this Micah trade right before the season, does it actually galvanize them? There is a world, Pearl, where this is actually a major win for the Cowboys. Maybe not actually in the win-loss column, but if the defense looks good, if they actually can stop the run, I don't know, does Kenny Clark stuff Saquon Barkley at the goal line? Do we have this maybe storybook?
There ain't no Saquon Barkley at the goal line.
Tush push, I get it.
Yeah. Could be. I mean, listen,
there is a
unintended
world,
consequences.
Yeah,
happens.
Is there a world where the team actually does look a lot better, and maybe the pressure moves to Micah Parsons and the Packers now, and maybe the Cowboys play a little freer again?
Yep.
All this is to be determined tonight, but it's still really this game matters for Dallas and how it looks.
I totally disagree with that. This game matters. Let's stop with all the Cowboys nonsense. Let's actually talk about X's and O's. It's all that is done. It was a summer of Jerry going on some weird victory tour for being relevant. Now it's actually, you nailed it. Can Kenny Clark help stop the run? And to me, the big question mark with the Cowboys is, what is George Pickens? If they turn this into 2 superstar wide receivers, as an Eagles fan, I'm going to be like, how did the universe let this happen? It's kind of like when your stupid Bills traded Xavier Worthy to the Chiefs. This could be something good. This is, if you're afraid of the Cowboys, that George Pickens to me has to be the focal point. Remember we were talking about him so much in the spring? He kind of became back burner, which is a good thing for the Cowboys. He's not causing any trouble.
Yeah, now, if he has 2 targets tonight and you get a reporter around his locker, you don't know what I don't know what he's going to say. So, yeah, that's all there. It's very intriguing, but doesn't matter how it looks for the Cowboys tonight. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. I say yes. Perloff says no.
No.
And also, are the Eagles, they're saying in the chat, one-hit wonder. I didn't say that. They went to a Super Bowl and lost, so you can't say they're a one-hit wonder. They've been around this. They've been in the game, and they've been a factor for many, many years to call them a one-hit wonder. But as far as repeating,
well, they won in 17.
They won in 17. Different quarterback,
different
coach.
But the common thread would be Howie Roseman as GM built the team.
That's true.
So, they don't feel one-hit wonder. They feel kind of in this age, it's hard to have dynasties. The Chiefs are the dynasty, but they are the foe. And I think everyone's doing their Super Bowl picks. I've seen a lot of Eagles.
Yeah, I am too.
It's dangerous, though. This is hard, by the way. Did you grind last night?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
It's a weird thing to ask, but yes, I did. You have to go through the win-losses of all these teams is what you're talking about if you actually want to get to a true, who's going to make the playoffs. And it was hard because I want to pick these other teams, the out-of-nowhere teams, but once you start going through win-losses, it's difficult.
I want to...
You're going to the backpack.
Oh, shoot. My notes, I went through every win-loss of the whole season, and the records, I didn't like them.
What, do you have a bathing suit in there? What's going on?
I have a lot going on my back. I got to find... Oh, crud. I left them. I have a massive thing of notes because I did every game, and then I went back. I'm like, I don't like these records. So I had to go back and reverse all these games. It took me 2 hours.
Oh, God.
But no, I have it written what I ended up with. And then I sat with my daughter. I said, get a calculator out. I got to make sure my wins match with my losses. And it's 270 on both sides, so we're good. It is hard. This year, I got to tell you, Maggie, strength of schedule, going to play into this. Yep. I know you think of the same exact thing.
I am thinking that. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Does it matter how it looks for the Cowboys tonight? To me, yes. Perloff says no. And also, Eagles repeating? How confident do you feel about that?
I love a lefty athlete.
Does Pablo Torre understand that it's football season now? Guy drops this bombshell NBA scandal right in our laps on the eve of the football season, the NFL season. Pablo, not now.
Did you grind last night?
But honestly, the scandal is so salacious. We got to go through the details with you. Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers now in the crosshairs. So we'll get to that. 888-710-4ISN. It's Maggie and Perloff Show.
All right, Maggie, it's football season, and that means PrizePicks. Every day we make choices, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. With millions of users and billions of dollars awarded in winnings, PrizePicks is the best place to put your takes to the test. We're there. It's so exciting. I was telling you how much I was laughing. There's multiple. Adam Devine is one of my favorite actors doing PrizePicks ads.
Yeah.
Him and Marshawn Lynch have to have a movie because they're enjoying prize. Yeah, just like you and me, they enjoy PrizePicks. I mean, it's just a commercial, but they're cracking me up. The app's so easy to use. Just pick 2 or more players across any sport. Pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you could win big.
Absolutely love PrizePicks. Perloff and I are obsessed. You're going to hear about it all season long because it is just fun. It's safe, secure, it's fast, and it's the most fan-friendly app to make your picks. We will stand by that. Download the PrizePicks app today. Use the code MNP. Get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MNP on PrizePicks to get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. So win or lose, you get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing, guaranteed. PrizePicks, it is good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff show. I don't know if anyone out there in the country has kids. My kids, I imagine so. I haven't looked at the latest Census Bureau. My kids start school late in New York.
Bet.
So last night, to paint a little picture, it was pure panic mode in the Perloff household. Getting ready for first day of school. Like Maggie and I were both breaking down every game of the NFL season to try and pick a Super Bowl winner. Eagles documentary is on, getting ready for tonight. I'm actually not going out to watch the game, Eagles, Cowboys, making cheesesteaks at home.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I bought the shaved beef at Trader Joe's, ready to go, Maggie. You're more than welcome to come over, have a cheesesteak at the Perloff household.
Provolone or American? What are you doing?
I don't have cheese yet. I'll probably buy some Cheese Whiz. Can you buy Cheese Whiz in a grocery store? I imagine.
Yeah, of course. It's America. I'm sorry.
Fry some onions up, ready to go. It's going to be an incredible celebration. I'll probably do a little face paint. I don't have really decided yet.
You want to get your Jalen Hurts jerseys around here. You might want to bring that home so you can wear it.
Yeah. Now, normally I would go to a bar for this game, but I don't know if I can watch anymore in a bar. Like, I need to really focus tonight.
Yeah, well, you never know when Nick Sirianni's going to call you off the bench on a couple plays.
You're laughing at me. Wait till Sunday night when your Bills play the Ravens. You're going to be 40 times more tense than I am.
I'm a puddle. Already, just thinking about it. But we're asking today, does it matter how the Cowboys look? Philadelphia, you want to talk about whether or not they can repeat? That's all on the table for you. But does it matter considering this has been kind of like the offseason of the Cowboys? I hate to say it because I'm playing right into Jerry's hands. But you trade the best pass rusher, one of them, in the NFL, you're going to get a lot of attention. Andreas is in Chicago. Andreas, does it matter how it looks tonight for Jerry and company?
So I'm a Cowboys fan. I've called him, in before. The one thing I got going for me is Dak's record against the Eagles. He's 9-4, and he's got a winning match against Jalen Hurts 2-1. I've always said this: Dak remains healthy for us in the season. The Cowboys make the playoffs. When he's injured, we don't make the playoffs. That's been his ammo in his career. What do y'all think about that?
Oh, yeah. The winning percentage of Dak Prescott when he's healthy is undeniable. It is very, very high. That's a real factor here. So Dak's on the field. I think it's it's in the 60s. So there's logic there, Maggie.
Yeah, there is. You think that the offensive line's going to be better. I don't know what the run game's going to be like. See, this is where I get a little nervous for Dak Prescott. If you don't have a representative run game, now I'm going to be Maggie football here and break it down. I think you're just basically just handing to the other team, hey, Dak Prescott's going to be sitting back here. He's going to be looking for Lamb and George Pickens. They're going to want to be run heavy. And can that offensive line protect him? And is he going to be a bit of a sitting duck back there? Because X's and O's and like what back, football.
I would hardly say this
and
is...
he's got 2 lower body injuries. He's on the wrong side of 30. All those things maybe add up to him being a bit vulnerable, but I don't know.
I wouldn't exactly say that was Maggie football to say if there's no run game, there might be too much on Dak. That's not exactly Brian Baldinger's breakdown. So
football.
One thing about this to me, if you want to go into X's and O's, can a great offensive line, is that all you need for a run game? Because I know Javonte Williams is off, basically the garbage heap. Miles Sanders, same thing. Jaden Blue is a rookie. So, is it all about the running back or is it about the offensive line? So I think that's really going to be the test.
Jason is in Washington, D.C. Jason, what do you see tonight?
What I see tonight, and I want to say good morning. I'm a Cowboys fan as well. So you guys talked about, I want to talk about the defensive line, but if I can just say one quick thing about the offensive line.
Sure.
I think we'll be much improved this year. Last year we had Rico Dowdell running the football, and I thought the offensive line with some injuries, I thought they didn't open up enough holes for Rico. I thought Rico had to make a lot of that on his own. I think this year with the first game, everybody's completely healthy. Now, I know we're not going to make a living running at Carter and Davis all game long.
Yeah.
You can forget that. They're the greatest. They're the two best interior defensive linemen in all of football. So we're not going to make a living. We just need to run enough to keep them honest, to let them know that we will run.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest thing with that. So I'm good with that.
Jason, I commend you. You're a Eagle fan, or excuse me, a Cowboy fan living in Washington, D.C. That is enemy territory for sure.
It's rough. It's rough. On the defensive side, I feel like if we can just slow Barkley down a little bit. Barkley had some monster games last year. I felt like he picked up yards where he really crippled us because they kept third downs alive. I feel like if we can slow Barkley down a little bit through Clark's and Osa's gaps and make them throw a little bit more, maybe make Hurts hold the ball a little bit more because the running game is not working, I feel like we have a chance.
Yeah, Jason, that's going to be the formula. Yep. And thank you. You know what we haven't even touched on, and that was a good breakdown there from Jason in D.C., Cowboy fan. But we haven't even touched on, this is Brian Schottenheimer's debut. Schottenheimer, always known, running the football. This is like that. He's been 30 years in the NFL as an assistant or whatever, and he's always been known as a guy who wants to run the ball. So do we see a little Schottenheimer magic on this game plan?
Yeah, I mean, listen, what was the caller's name?
Jason?
Yeah, Jason basically should be the new coordinator for the Eagles. That was a brilliant breakdown.
I felt like he was using a telescope.
Yeah, I mean, is that the name of the game in the NFL? You slow down the other offense by controlling the ball on the ground. That's going to be Schottenheimer's theory. Oh, man, though, it all sounds good in theory, but remember, there's no Micah Parsons out there. Is Jalen Hurts going to be scared at all when he drops back? Are they going to have any pass rush on Jalen Hurts?
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Doesn't matter. Football's happening. Doesn't matter how it looks tonight for the Dallas Cowboys. We'll get to the big NBA scandal in just a little bit that dropped yesterday. Peter Schwartz here with us doing updates this morning. Hey, Peter.
Good morning, everybody. The heck was that? Don't miss any of the action this football season I got to start over again now because
that's Kawhi Leonard laughing, dude. You never heard that drop?
I never heard that drop.
No, he's the worst laugher in all of sports.
Worst, best. That's a great laugh.
That's what?
It was so unexpected. We'd never heard him laugh before.
That is 100% the worst laugh. You think that's the best laugh?
EJ, poll question. Kawhi Leonard, best laugh, worst laugh? Peter, back to you.
Yeah, best in an ironic way.
Just painful. Don't miss any of the action this football season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Download PrizePicks and use code PRIMETIME and get $50 bonus credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Pico de Goyo.
Yes, that I remember. The NFL season kicks off tonight in Philadelphia as the Super Bowl champion Eagles host the Cowboys. The Eagles will unveil their championship banner, but Saquon Barkley says that is not the priority tonight.
See it fall down, put a smile on your face, but then got to go right to work. Got a division opponent coming in on a Thursday night football game and start of a new season. So, what we did last year was special. It's going to be cool to have that moment, but most important thing is win that football game, and that's where our focus is.
I don't buy that some people said they're not even going to watch it. You think people are really not going to watch the ceremony?
I don't have all the details. I read last time they won in 2017, they didn't watch it just because they weren't on the field at the time. They were still in the locker room. I don't know. Like, why would you watch it? Like, don't you have to? I would be prepared for a game. I'm not even being like hyperbole. Like, you have a lot of assignments coming up in the next 3 hours.
But it's a matter of a couple of minutes to watch your big accomplishment.
So you think they're going to watch on TV or in person? Like, come out on the field?
I think the team should be out on the field when that happens. Like, why do they have to do it while the team is still in the locker room? Why can't they come on the field and say, here's the banner, and they watch the banner go down?
Well, can I also say, as a television product, I'd actually want to see this. So if I'm Amazon tonight, what I would want, in theory, is I want the Eagles on the field. I want the highlight reel that's probably going to run. They're going to do all the highlights of the season and the Super Bowl and Saquon's backwards jump and the hurdle and all of that stuff, and then them raising Lombardi. then you lower the banner because you got to get the crowd into a frenzy. And I want to see if any of the players, like, are they hyped? Are they shed a tear? Like, as a television producer, I want to see the Eagles' faces.
I think
Nick Sirianni's definitely going to cry. I mean, he cries all the time.
I think this is NBC usually gets the opener, right?
Oh, right. NBC. Sorry, not
right.
Amazon,
So,
NBC.
I mean, then you get in some logistics. I don't remember if they show it. My only memory of the last time the Eagles did this was Sylvester Stallone came out and rang the bell.
Wow, it's going bigger.
Yeah, for the first game after they won a championship the last
Leading
time.
into the Rocky thing again, huh? Get a new bit, guys.
Well, I wonder, like,
Manny,
is this going to be?
jest.
Is it? You know, they're going to incorporate Bradley Cooper and Kevin Hart somehow. So this is going to be a full-on entertainment product.
It's only going to be the 15th straight year that they open the season.
There's going to be a 3-minute buddy cop video of
Let's get Will
Abbott
Smith and
Elementary is
Meek
going to be
Mill,
in the
too.
mix. It's going to be fantastic.
Let's bring Ben Simmons along. Let's get Charles Barkley too.
Jason
One guy.
Kelsey.
You guys can have Will Smith. We don't need him here.
What? Getting rid of Will already?
I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm sorry. Kevin Hart and Bradley Cooper have surpassed Will Smith. Will Smith used to be our guy. We'll take Meek Mill. All the celebs are fine.
Geez, you smack one guy at the Oscars, and all of a sudden your whole entire city
Savannah
turns on
Guthrie
you.
is a big Eagles fan from the Today Show.
Yeah, Anne Hathaway showed up last year.
Bandwagon.
Yeah, dicey.
Will Smith
Anne Hathaway.
Will Smith belongs in the Drake category of fans. Formerly fun super fans.
Wow.
I mean, you guys don't feel that way? Is he back?
He's rapping.
Gotta be honest. It did get weird there with Will Smith for a minute.
I mean, did you guys see the latest controversy is he put out a concert video and everyone says the fans are made out of AI?
I did hear about that. Yeah, I did see that. My future brother told me. Yeah.
That's not what you want.
That's crazy.
That's not what you want.
Yeah, no, I don't think Will Smith is back at the 50-yard line. I'm sorry. He used to be a great super fan.
Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer says his team will be ready to go tonight.
It's going to be pretty consistent throughout the course of the deal. We're guaranteed 17 of these. This is the first one of that. I think our guys will play well. But again, that's kind of going to be my message most weeks.
Kickoff tonight's at 8:20 Eastern Time. Other NFL news, the Koch family has reportedly agreed to buy a 10% stake in the New York Giants. The deal would come with a $10 billion valuation and is pending approval by league owners and could come as soon as the next meeting in October.
Oh,
Is that like the Koch family
it's the Koch
or different?
family.
Oh, is it Coke? Looks
Oh,
like
I didn't know.
Clearly, you are not
relief
a
pit. The relief
Republican donor. The Koch family, very political
looks
family.
like Koch to me.
I think they're maybe the richest people in the country.
No, not anymore.
Not
now
anymore?
it's the tech
No?
guys. Oh, my God, yeah.
I literally never heard of this family until I just read the story.
The Kochs?
Really?
Never.
They're
I
big
mean, I
sport-
remember
they're big
Ed Koch
sports
was the
people.
mayor of New York City.
Not the same family.
No, not the same family. And then remember there was a relief pitcher for the A's, Billy Koch.
If he's part of this family, that would be
But
a
that's
major
literally
win.
what I saw. I'm like, oh, it's the Koch family. I never heard of this family before.
Huh.
Maybe I'm not watching enough CNN.
No, I don't think it's like that. I think they probably helped shape most of the policies that we all live our life by on a daily basis.
Well, then I have some homework to do.
Yeah, we'll get you a pronunciation guide. No, it's a big political family, and she's the widow. One of the brothers died recently.
Yeah, I mean, they're all getting up
Now
there.
they're getting into sports.
I'll
big
take an
time.
L on this.
I
The
think
living
Wichita
brother,
State-
Charles Koch, is 89.
Oh, really?
So anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I'll just take a big fat L on this.
I
No,
think,
that's fine.
I think
Yeah.
Wichita State is the.
Yeah, that's
Isn't that where they're big
That's
in
their
the
big school, yeah.
the college donations? Peter, that's where we're gonna. Yes, go
Okay,
ahead.
well, I feel like I learn something every time I'm here, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
It's just funny to me that
I-
somehow Peter ended up in a room somehow with these people, and it was like, oh, Mr. Koch.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question though. Isn't the role of your job to teach the audience something? You're not supposed to be the one learning.
But I had no idea who this family was. Like 90-something.
You thought Ed Koch's granddaughter
No,
bought
I
the
didn't
team?
think it was this. I'm looking at the name and not knowing who this family was. I just assumed, and you know what happens when you assume.
Yeah.
I assumed it was Koch. Never heard of the family
Senator
before. Victor Wembanyama.
All right, yeah. I get it.
I'm sorry.
You're not politically oriented necessarily.
You know what? It's okay. Yesterday, I forgot what year the moon landing was, and I thought Perloff was going to throw me out of the studio.
Well, you, thought the game tonight was on Amazon.
I did. That one a little more forgivable.
Well, it is Thursday night. That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't. That is not an unforgivable sin at all. Believe me, for years they were behind the scenes.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
But,
Zachary
during the break,
Rashard-
Peter, we'll explain how the world really works.
Okay, thank you.
All right, 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476.
Zachary Rashard. Risache.
We will get to big scandal, the big news. Clippers, Steve Ballmer, maybe as rich as the Cokes, maybe richer actually. Rich people doing potentially bad things. Get to that next.
Toilets!
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff show. Something got very serious around here.
Oh,
Dangerous minds.
yeah, blame Coolio for that.
May he rest in peace. Okay, we're asking you today a couple things. Number one, does it matter tonight how it looks for the Dallas Cowboys? Considering they trade away Micah Parsons, they will tell you they are selling out to stop the run. Well, here's your assignment. Saquon Barkley. Good luck with all that. Bill is in Houston. Bill, does it matter how it looks for the Cowboys?
Well, I think it does. I am looking forward to seeing this game, and but on another point, I appreciate you and Perloff and your use of the English language almost as much as your sports knowledge. But the Eagles, Saquon Barkley is in his ninth year. He did have 345 carries last year. Running backs fall off with multiple 300 carry years. But I think Jalen Hurts and his stoicism, I think he's going to guide him back to the promised land. But tonight's game, and you also pointed out that every great Super Bowl team has a malcontent too, and that's A.J. Brown, right? And I would even term him a ne'er-do-well, if you're going to use words like that. So that's my word. But
I like it. Breaking out the thesaurus. I love it.
A ne'er-do-well engaged in tomfoolery even, But,
oh, yeah.
Well, we don't want a flim-flam artist out there, Bill.
Oh, please. This is good.
All right. Here's the thing about that. I know it's probably good to have, Bill, healthy competition in the locker room, right? I think that's okay. Guys don't have to be best friends to win a championship. We know that. However, this is where I worry a bit for the Eagles. And, Bill, thank you so much. You go quickly from ne'er-do-well and malcontent to cancer, to distraction. Now, I'm not saying that's happened yet or that it's going to happen. Maybe it won't. But I don't trust it necessarily that the Eagles are going to handle their success so easily.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, A.J. Brown, by the way, I don't think he's a ne'er-do-well. I think he's a little bit closer to the middle as a player. Like, he's not Tyreek Hill. Tua came out this summer in Miami, the Dolphins quarterback, and said we basically still don't get along. Like, I think A.J. Brown gets along with a lot of his teammates. The guy, does have his own kind of book club, Maggie. He reads a lot. I don't think he's as bad as we're painting. I think also every team needs kind of a somewhat scary guy. Like the Steelers always had James Harrison. Eagles have that in Jalen Carter. Now he seems like a ne'er-do-well.
Yeah, well, he's got real things like that.
Well, that was a long time ago. Well, in NFL terms, but like I think he's still like he puts on this face during games. Like he does not seem to be. He seems like the guy who people are scared of. I think you need that too.
Yeah, and he's young in his career.
Yeah.
And how does he handle success? And how do they all handle success?
It's a great question. You have to be in the NFL. You have to live on the edge a little bit. That's the amazing thing about the Chiefs are all these sort of nice guys who, for some reason, the nation turned against.
Yeah, some nice guys.
Who's not nice on the Chiefs?
Well, I'm just saying it's not like the Chiefs are they always take
Rashee Rice.
Like, yeah, I was going to say Rashee Rice is suspended for the first 6 games. I don't know what he's like personally, but obviously he was reckless in the way he was driving. So it's like they'll take guys who maybe have some personality things like Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, but then they traded him. I'm saying the guys who've stayed, Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Chris Jones, Isaiah Pacheco is an amazing story. Nick Bolton, like they have a lot of like high character guys. Anyway.
Yeah, but they had the Frank Clarks of the world, too. I mean, there was guys who had some serious
Those guys
stuff.
are all gone, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
But they won Super Bowls with those dudes.
Yeah, you need them.
I think, listen, what I'm not talking about is like the makeup of the locker room in terms of what it took to win the Super Bowl. I'm talking about the makeup of the locker room now that you've won it, And it's the 2017 Eagles. Like, think about that, right? What a out of nowhere in so many ways story, because they go to the backup quarterback in Nick Foles, and it's Doug Peterson, who was not known to be this great coaching genius. They beat Bill Belichick and Tom Brady, puts them in a different stratosphere, and 4 years later, Doug Peterson is gone, and that whole team changed. I don't know. Brad,
I think a lot of that was personnel, too. I don't think it's just locker room character. I mean, I think teams are built certain ways. They were not necessarily built for sustained success.
Brad is in Oregon. Good morning, Brad.
Hey, good morning, guys. Thanks for taking my call. It's funny that talking about the Cowboys, whether they play good tonight in a close game or whether they get blown out tonight, I'm going to be talking about them tomorrow morning. And it just seems like there's other games out there that are more interesting. This weekend, I know it's opening game in the NFL tonight, but there's more games out there I think are more interesting than this game here.
Yeah.
And we play right into Jerry Jones' hand every single day, whether it's good or it's bad, and it just, after a while, it kind of gets tiresome about it. Cowboys. As far as the Eagles repeating, I think the biggest thing is if they can stay as healthy as they were last year, all year long, I think they've got a great chance of repeating. But that to me, that's the $60,000 question, is that
Yeah, Brad, this is what the remarkable, thank you for the call, the remarkable thing about the Chiefs all these years is just how deep they're playing into the postseason. Now, they were hurt. Now, they've gone through their injuries, but it almost seems like it doesn't even matter if Patrick Mahomes is banged up. But the fact that, look what happened to the San Francisco 49ers. They were going deep into postseasons, and last year, everything went off the rails as far as injuries, it felt like. The Eagles, the Chiefs, somehow this doesn't happen to them. They just find themselves back at least in the AFC Championship game. And we'll see about Philadelphia.
It's happened twice for the Niners. After they lost, they blew the lead in 2019. That season was even more injured than last year. Everybody went down in 2020. The Chiefs, you're right. They have incredible health. But even last year, the O-line got hurt.
Yep.
And I think the loss to the Bucs, the O-line got hurt. That's where their one vulnerability seems to be. Patrick Mahomes goes out there and is limping around and doesn't even matter. It's just throwing darts all over the field.
Remember when he beat your Eagles with a high ankle sprain?
Yeah, it's weird. I do remember that, Maggie. Thank you. Do you remember when he beat your Bills?
Yeah.
Also was said high ankle sprain?
I'm sure.
I don't even know. I don't even remember that, but I'm sure he did beat them.
Yeah, well, that was the one against Cincinnati, right? Where he beat Cincinnati, got the high ankle sprain in the second half, and then goes on and beats the Eagles in the Super Bowl.
I mean, last year, their offense Rashee Rice tore his ACL, and then Isaiah Pacheco got hurt. Their offense fell apart last year. So you can't say that the Chiefs are totally impervious to health issues.
I know, but they always make it back to the the season doesn't even start for them until the AFC Championship game. That's how crazy it is. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Our Ask You Today doesn't matter how it looks tonight for the Dallas Cowboys. Eagles, I think you get a little... do you have pressure on you? I don't
my
really
God.
know. You're
if
a
they
big
lost to the
favorite in
Cowboys
game.
after the Micah Parsons trade, are you kidding me? That would be a huge disaster. If the Cowboys lose, they're 8.5-point dogs. Who cares? The Eagles lose, you don't think that'd be bad? That would be...
What does winning the Super Bowl get you? Any grace period whatsoever?
It's the Philly fans will be booing their heads off if they lose this game tonight. I mean, they'll be booing if it's
waiting to turn on this team.
That's Philadelphia. If the game's even close, they will start booing like mad. They were booing this preseason like hard because I can't remember what it was. Like they weren't blocking for Tanner McKee or something. It was.
That sounds about right.
Bunch of freaks.
Yeah, they are. But aren't we all? We're obsessed with this stuff. You know, it's funny. Brad just calling from Oregon that there's so many better games out there. Did you guys see that the college football opening weekend set all types of records for most viewed? I think the NFL might be right there with them.
Oh,
it was
I'm
that
sure.
Ohio State Texas game.
16.6 million. I think it was third on Fox of all time. Fox games, but usually it's been like night games. It was the biggest high noon. I mean, you got 1 versus 2 or 1 versus 3.
Yeah.
No surprise. You got Arch.
I think the NFL could be setting up for the same thing. We didn't even get into Bills Ravens and all the other amazing matchups. We'll do that next.
Well, the autumn air was coming
Round quarter after 10, BT and Sal were talking about the Jets defense again. Just a normal Wednesday broadcast on the WFM, taking calls from angry fellas, every single fan. The YouTube chat was scrolling, the super chats did fly, when the studio door creaked open, neath the tri-state sky. Oh, Drunkle Sam came stumbling with a brew right in his hand. He crashed the live stream party, posing for the land. He bellowed at the camera with a wild and starry gaze. Said, I'm here to talk the Giants through this dog day haze. He's a red, white, and blue collar who just couldn't wait in line. Yeah, Drunkle Sam on YouTube, a legendary sign. He squinted at the booth and said this team ain't working hard. Then he looked around and hollered, did Bellotti pull his card? I swear that boy's a phantom, a ghost upon the breeze. He punches in his hours from a hammock in the tree. Sam said at least there's winners, that much I understand. Like Billy serving aces with the racket in his hand. I saw him on the court myself, it was a crying shame. Poor Rube just couldn't handle the power of this game. A six love lesson in the morning sun so bright. Some boys show up for battles and some just miss the fight. Oh, Drunkle Sam came stumbling with a brew right in his hand. He crashed the live stream party, posing for the land. He bellowed at the camera with a wild and starry gaze. Said, I'm here to talk the Giants through this dog day haze. He's a red, white, and blue collar who just couldn't wait in line. Yeah, Drunkle Sam on YouTube, a legendary sign. Blurry top hat and vanished in a flash, leaving BT speechless and Sal counting out the cash. From Bellotti's empty office to the tennis court so green, the strangest damn live segment that the world has ever seen. Yeah, the strangest thing we've ever seen. Y'all tune in tomorrow then.
Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
This is what it's come to with the Dallas Cowboys. It's just important that they don't get blown out tonight. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We're talking about professional football teams here. This is not college. This is not an FCS school going in to play an FBS school, Pearl. But the way that things have gone for Dallas, I do think it is very important for them to hold their own. I think it's important that they don't look bad after the Micah Parsons trade. They are telling you they want to sell out to stop the run. Now you face Saquon Barkley and a running quarterback in Jalen Hurts, who has the ability to run. And I think it's important that the Cowboys hold their own and make this at least a one-score game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, that's interesting because last year the Cowboys blew out Cleveland in week 1, then got blown out bizarrely by New Orleans in week 2. So, the first week of the season, we know this. I mean, is very funny. The ball bounces in really funny ways. Teams are not really at their full strength. Some starters play in the preseason, some didn't. So I think week 1 is really deceiving. I kind of agree with you. I'd like to counter argue that perception matters more for the Cowboys. But the reality is, if this was a normal team and they look bad in week 1, that doesn't mean they're going to be bad for the season. The Bengals look terrible every week 1, and it's impacting their record. But they're a different team in a month. I do think there is extra pressure. I'm not going to argue that. But generally, we are going to come in next Monday and completely overreact to what we see because it's all going to flip-flop by week 2.
I totally understand that. Yeah, the Ravens started 0-2 last year.
Yeah,
clearly
exactly.
The sky was not falling, but they also didn't trade their best player a week and a half before the season to someone in the conference and set off all this turmoil. Like when the Cowboys beat the Browns that opener, there was like a positivity about getting the CD Lamb deal done and Dak getting signed. Like, hey, you did it. There's a commitment here, or all that offseason was just for nothing. This is totally different. This was where Jerry Jones completely zagged on everybody, and instead of just actually paying Micah Parsons, called the bluff and traded him out of town.
Yep.
So I think for Cowboy fans, especially because we're lucky that we get to talk to people and we get the immediate feedback of not just social media, but literally you guys being able to call us and tell us how you feel. And the overwhelming sense that we got was the Cowboy fans said to Micah Parsons, good riddance. They didn't want him. And so that's another reason why there's a lot of Cowboy fans. I'm not saying you're drinking the Kool-Aid. You have your reasons for not wanting him on the team. I'm not going to disrespect you there. You have your reasons. But I think if you took that tact of, the Cowboys can still be a competitive team this year, even without Micah Parsons, I think it matters how it looks tonight.
I think part of the reason, though, is the fans think that the Cowboys aren't going anywhere with or without Micah Parsons. And they're basing that on 30 years of experience here. I don't think they think Micah Parsons was taking them over the top. I think a smart fan would be like, it's time to rebuild. So, you know what? I mean, reality is.
But you're caught in the middle because you're paying Dak at the top of the market, CD at the top of the market, Adigazua. Like, you've paid guys.
Yeah, but come on. Do you really think Dak is leading this core? I mean, honestly, I think they took a massive flyer on George Pickens, and maybe he reinvigorates the offense and they surprise everyone. But, hey, Dak's contract is kind of reaching close to the end. I think that maybe moving on is now on the Cowboys' mind. And you see that in some of the language after the trade. Like Jerry was talking about cap flexibility. He was talking about the future.
He was talking about anything. He was just making sure, see what's stuck to the wall.
Yeah. Well, he said salary cap space is my number one priority. I was like, what?
Since when? Since 2 weeks ago when you thought you had a deal done with Micah Parsons? It's funny because, there are a lot of things that are alike from the Luka Doncic trade. There are a lot of things that are very different with Micah Parsons and Luka Doncic. But the one thing that did ultimately kind of save this for the Dallas Mavericks was getting Cooper Flagg. Like the idea that you are going to be able to turn over the future to somebody new makes this a lot more palatable. I think that's the only way that the Cowboys actually win this trade is if somehow one of these draft picks directly correlates to the Dallas Cowboys getting their quarterback of the future. Now, I don't think it's going to happen this year, but maybe next. Obviously, they've got the 2026 draft picks. I understand that. If Jerry talks about turning Micah Parsons into 3 to 5 players, one of those has got to be Dak Prescott's replacement.
Well, it's not just the Packers draft picks, though. You could argue that getting rid of Parsons will cost you 2 wins, 3 wins. So you move way up in the draft. Actually, Vegas thinks he's going to cost him a win and a half.
Yep.
And the line moved So Vegas believes in Micah Parsons. So it's not just the Packers picks. It's also you'll be a lot worse. So you might end up with a 4, 5, or 6 draft, especially in 2 years. So 4, 5, or 6 pick, that is. Yeah, I mean, this could work out for a quarterback in a big, big way. You know, how did they rebuild in the 90s? It was because Troy Aikman arrived. And I'm a fan of Dak Prescott, but he ain't Troy Aikman.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Doesn't matter how it looks tonight for the Dallas Cowboys against Perloff's Philadelphia Eagles. Let's get to the quarterback carousel.
I feel so lucky to be the quarterback.
It's the position everyone wishes they could play.
Why can't I be quarterback, huh? Sit down and shut up.
But it's not for the faint at heart.
Quarterbacks are premium. I think those things add up to make it quarterbacking the toughest job in sports.
Maggie and Perloff answer one big question about the quarterback.
All right, we're getting near the end here. We only have 3 quarterbacks left, right?
That's right. So we'll be doing doubleheader tomorrow. But today we're talking about the Chargers.
Chargers, go!
We have one Justin Herbert. So I'm asking Maggie and Perloff, will Justin Herbert ascend to becoming a top 3 quarterback this season?
It's going to be a no for me, dog. No. And in fact, I'm actually fading the LA Chargers this year. Spoiler alert. I do not have them making the playoffs, which was hard for me, Pearl, because I picked them last year to make the playoffs, and I was very happy I was right about that. The Jim Harbaugh effect, to me, I don't know if I can trust it. Now, here's a little bit behind that. Justin Herbert definitely got better. The offense got much better with Greg Roman arriving. But last year could have been a bit of a mirage. They had a really easy schedule where they played against a lot of backup quarterbacks, and they still found themselves trailing in a lot of games. They either trailing or they couldn't hold on to leads in the fourth quarter. It's going to be a step up in terms of competition with their opponents this year. And I don't know if that Harbaugh magic exists like it did when he was with the San Francisco 49ers. So I don't see this as a gigantic year for the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm fading the Chargers as well. I mean, the Rashawn Slater injury was probably the most impactful offseason injury. Lose their left tackle. Now, they have Joe Alt to move around, which is pretty good backup option. But Justin Herbert's numbers fell apart last year with Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh wants to run. There's no way in that format Justin Herbert's going to be viewed as a top 3 quarterback. He might win more, but last year he dropped to 23 touchdowns and 3 picks, which is amazing, until the playoffs started, and he saw a real pass rush, and that was a disaster against Houston. I mean, this is a guy in his second year threw 38 touchdowns, Maggie. We thought he was going to be Mahomes. That is not happening and is never going to happen under Jim Harbaugh. And it's not even important that he does do that. But I think statistically, the Chargers don't want him to be a top 3 quarterback. I mean, that's not how Jim Harbaugh wins football games. You saw it at Michigan, and I think that is his most recent example. Colin Kaepernick never threw for high volume in San Francisco under him. I don't know who his quarterbacks. Did he have Josh Johnson back at San Diego State? Or Andrew Luck at Stanford? Like, he's never been a chuck the ball around the ballpark guy. It's just not going to happen with Justin Herbert.
Yeah, which is funny because Justin Herbert passes every eye test imaginable. And when they added the play action, he did get a lot better. Again, I just think it's going to be a step up in competition for them, where last year I think they benefited. And then you saw when they got to first of all, when they played good quarterbacks, their defenses were just not good enough. But also, when they got to the playoffs, I don't even think Jim Harbaugh can stop chargering. You know, chargering, I don't love to just go to the narrative thing because you guys can throw it right back in my face. All right, Bill's never going to win a Super Bowl. You're right. There's like a history and a scar tissue that exists. And, you know, maybe it's a figment of my imagination, but I don't think so. Chargering, like, there's just something very snake-bitten about this franchise that you even saw in the playoffs with Justin Herbert in the 4 picks against Houston. Like, I don't know if Jim Harbaugh can overcome this.
I think he can. I mean, I think their strategy is pretty obvious. They keep investing in the line and the run game. They took on Marion Hampton in the first round this year. Like, if you run the ball down people's throat, you do not have to worry about luck. That is just, you know, it's a much more old school, less nuanced way to approach football. We'll see because, you know, fantasy drafts around the league are salivating over Marion Hampton, but they're going to have Najee Harris will play, apparently. I don't even know what's that.
After the fireworks accident?
That'll be a 30 for 30. I think the Chargers are going to be physical like those Niners teams under Harbaugh. I totally agree with you. It's a very, very challenging division.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476.
Everybody knows the quarterback.
You know, to be honest, there's a couple teams that I found myself doing this. We're going to make our picks, division winners, kind of lay out how we think the playoffs are going to go and give you a Super Bowl winner, obviously. But there were a couple teams that I just had to finally just cut the apron strings off the bandwagon. And the Chargers were one of them. Even though,
Chargers, go!
Again, I picked them to make the playoffs last year because I thought they'd get a good Harbaugh bump, and they're not a bad team. I'm finally cutting ties with Jacksonville. I thought about it. I love Travis Hunter. We all do. I still like Trevor Lawrence. Has nothing to do with that, although it doesn't help.
Duval.
That's a really bold move of you to cut ties with a team that its team win total is 6.5.
I know. I'm really out here on a limb.
Yeah. Wait, you're cutting ties on Jacksonville Jaguars? Who's next? Are you going to lose faith in the
Cleveland Browns?
I was going to say the Arizona Cardinals, but they could be a playoff team.
Actually, I have them in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm going opposite on the Arizona Cardinals, so we'll see if I look like an idiot.
You're giving like 20 teams now for the playoffs, Mags.
I know.
Well, yeah, but
Arizona, half the league makes it, Manny, so I'm right on par.
Yeah, I mean, the win total is kind of downish on the Jags. People really against. They could be I'm actually more high on the Jags now than I was.
It's really fading quarterbacks is what I'm doing. Like I'm.
What's wrong with Trevor Lawrence?
No,
that dude is awesome.
I know, but what am I seeing? Like at some point, like I thought he was going to be awesomer, if you will, and I know he was hurt last year. But it's like, can Justin Herbert be a thing consistently? Can Trevor Lawrence be a thing consistently? Can Aaron Rodgers have this big, final awesome season? Tua, some of these like quarterbacks that we've had questions about for a little bit, all different types of questions. I'm finally cutting ties.
What you're saying is you haven't seen the results. You've just seen the hype for some of these guys.
Exactly. Thank you.
Yeah, but I mean, then you're putting Kyler Murray in, who you can see why he has not succeeded. It's obvious.
Yeah, this is more of I was actually surprised. Arizona was not a terrible team last year. Like, one of the big things I do when trying to figure out who's going to make the playoffs is, you got to look at the win totals from a year ago along with the strength of schedule of this year. And if you are a team, though, that had like 3 wins, 4 wins, 5 wins, are you really making a jump to 10 wins? Are you 5 wins better than you were a year ago? That's a tall task. Meanwhile, Arizona, the starting point is 8-9. They did not bottom out last year. So to go from 8 wins to get to 10, that I can see.
Yeah, I mean, they're like the analytic crowd's darling. Everyone loves. I told you this a few weeks ago. I was like, everyone loves Jonathan Gannon. You're like, Jonathan Gannon, the pew 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 guy, their head coach.
It's like Star Wars.
Yeah, no, I mean, their win total is 8.5. Because they did win 8 games last year. They're a tough physical team as well. You know what? It's really hard. We have created this category of teams where you put the LA Chargers, the Arizona Cardinals. I'd say you put the Bears in that list too. The Jacksonville Jaguars, the teams that you're right, like these quarterbacks should be taking them next level, but you just can't fully trust them because you haven't seen it. But that's how the NFL works. Eventually, these guys break through.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So it's going to be a no for me, dog. Randy, what was his name? No.
Randy Jackson.
Randy Jackson from American Idol.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I can't pull it off well. No.
That has been so long since I heard that expression.
It's going to be a no for me, dog. I went for it with the dog, which I should not have done.
We should use nothing but expressions that are 17 years old on this show.
I did call the Cowboys a dingbats last hour.
Yeah, that's more like 65 years old, but yeah. Dingbat is, I think, from the 40s.
Question for you out there. Does it matter how it looks for the Cowboys tonight? Dog. That's number one, dog. No. Homie. Does it matter?
Homie.
They're significant underdogs. 8.5 was what I saw. I think it's been toggling now between 7.5 and 8 is the line. We'll get you updated right there. But, that's big for the NFL. Obviously, it's massive.
I'm really curious when they're covering this game, who do they talk about more? Like, how much Cowboys talk is there? You know what I mean? I mean, it's Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth who are pros at this.
No, not Al Michaels. Mike Tirico.
Mike Tirico, sorry.
Here's a guy.
Right. Yeah, you got Amazon in my brain here.
Sorry.
Yeah, I wonder if this is going to be like the offseason, a referendum on the America's team. if the game goes badly for Dallas, is it going to be, I guess there are two competing storylines. You have plenty of time. You have 3 hours to kill here. But I wonder if it's going to be how much offseason stuff they talk. How much Micah Parsons. We should do a drinking game. How many times do they talk about Micah Parsons, who will not be on the field?
Oh, I'll be inebriated.
You will be in a coma.
Yeah, I don't know if Tirico and Collinsworth are going to go there. They're not hype guys.
Let's go, y'all.
It's the biggest story.
They're not Stephen A. I mean, this is football analysts. Like Chris Collinsworth has Pro Football Focus. Like these are true analysts. These are not let's get headlines, guys.
I love everybody.
It would be negligent if they didn't talk about it.
All right, over under. How many times does Micah Parsons' name come up tonight?
What do you want to set the line at?
That's what I'm asking you. What's
I would set the
over-under?
line at 8. 8 Micah Parsons. 8 times Micah or Micah Parsons or that trade or something like the reference.
No, it's 7.5 or 8.5.
Yeah, you got to go half.
Yeah, give me a half
sorry.
number.
Let's go 7.5, and I'll take the over.
Sports.
I think it should be 8.5.
Okay.
A juice to plus 120. And I think all we have to do is the word Parsons.
What about what a reference to the trade? Does that also count?
Got it. The word Parsons. We got to be very specific here.
How about this one?
Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
If they botch his name,
I got to be honest. Like I'd be shocked if it was under 8.5, but I'll take the under.
Did I talk to Michael?
Micah.
I'll take the under, and the loser pays for breakfast for the crew.
Okay, wait, hold on. Do I also get the pregame show?
I feel great. Of course not. You get the game. Because we're talking about Tirico and Collinsworth. You'll get 8.5.
I don't know.
You want the under?
Now
I'll
it feels
take.
a little loaded now.
You want the under? I'll definitely take the over.
So I'm getting breakfast tomorrow. Is what
You're getting
guys
breakfast.
Yeah, let's flip flop. I'll take the under now.
Okay, I'm on the over. 8.5.
Got
the
all
word
that?
Parsons.
What about just Micah? Does that count?
That should count.
That should count too.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I didn't even think of that.
I'm just saying, we got to make this thing on the up and up. Michael does not count. Michael is not it.
If he says
Jerry
Michael,
Jones interview.
if they in-game interview Jerry and he calls him Michael, do I get that?
No.
About Michael Parsons.
All right. If NBC needed any more ratings, we just gave it to him. Now you can count the Micah Parsons references.
888-710-4ISN. I wish they had like a little ticker on the bottom right. Ding, ding.
Sometimes I turn off the volume. I'm going to have to keep it on now.
You don't turn off the volume on Eagles games. I thought that's other games.
No, I can't. Sometimes there's certain broadcasters, I can't do 3 hours.
Name names. Name names right now.
It rhymes with Schmony Schmomo.
No, I mean, 3 hours of Gus, that's a lot.
Oh, disagree on Gus.
Well, got to keep Gus on.
Maserati Marv. No, I like both those guys.
To learn more, visit realizethedream.org.
What a day. Martin Luther King Jr. deserves to have a day named after him.
Okay, by the way, you said the pregame. Let's do it the second Tirico and Collinsworth. It's those two guys. So when the slide happens, I don't know, do they still do the slide? When Chris Collinsworth appears on air,
Here's the guy.
boom, it's on.
Okay.
8.5. I cannot wait. Get ready for some breakfast tomorrow, guys.
Yum.
Yay.
888-710-4ISN. You know EJ's getting the juice, by the way.
No fresh squeeze orange
Yes,
juice.
he gets the juice.
Well,
Yummy.
I get the juice.
He always-
Yummy.
The action is the juice. No, he always gets the juice. It's the $8 fresh squeeze OJ.
Sorry, OJ Simpson over here.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Good heavens.
Why did you call me that?
Could have gone with
the
McDuffie.
juice. You're the juice. That's your new nickname. Do you want that nickname?
Oh, no, you could call me OJ Mayo or someone else. OJ McDuffie or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. Well, then why did you not order fresh squeeze orange juice on my credit card? That would help.
I think that's not the worst crime about this between OJ Simpson and EJ Stewart.
Oh, my God.
What did OJ do?
You're in New York City. You know how
Just
much
robbed
fresh
somebody.
squeeze orange juice costs?
$6. Then it was 6 inches. Then it was 12 inches.
Inflation.
By side note, I was convinced OJ Mayo was going to be the heir apparent to Michael Jordan at one point. That
Very
guy.
understandable.
Oh, he was so good.
Yeah, very understandable.
Speaking of hoops, scandal yesterday. Major scandal. Perloff's not convinced that anyone cares about this.
That's not what I said. That's not what I said. I do feel like the whole Pablo Torre New York Times thing kind of got like a little bit of a social media online vibe to me. I'm not sure with America's game starting tonight. I do see a little bit of that, but I am fascinated by this story.
Was this all just one big ploy to circumvent the salary cap? You suddenly don't care about circumventing the salary cap?
I mean, listen, if you're going to say Jalen Brunson on the Knicks is next and then Tom Brady and the Patriots, then you got my interest.
Okay. We will unravel this scandal that's now embroiled the Los Angeles
Nothing
Clippers.
to see here in New York, by the
And
way.
their billionaire owner.
Please disperse.
Steve Ballmer, 888-710-4ISN. As far as tonight is concerned, doesn't matter how it looks for the Dallas Cowboys. They are a big underdog. And they have said they're going to sell out to stop the run. Will they be able to contain Saquon Barkley? All of that and more next.
The sun ain't even cracked the sky, the coffee's feeling old. Another story's breaking, gotta get the truth be told. Maggie's at the microphone, a queen upon the throne. While the world around her's crazy, she's holding down her own. The lines are lit, the board is hot, she's ready for the fight, to bring a little common sense into the morning light. She looks at all the nonsense through the digital haze and says, now that's a no from me, dog, in these troubled modern days. She's got a crew of dingbats, but she guides them with her hand. 'Cause Maggie Gray's the truest voice in this whole weary land. Yeah, Maggie Gray's the only anchor in the shifting sand. The clock is ticking past the hour, and there's an empty seat. Peter Belotti's missing, can't be bothered with the heat. He's probably still dreaming, not a worry or a care, while Maggie's doing double time, talking to the empty air. And poor old Chip is shouting, his opinion's flying free, but still no YouTube stream for all the folks at home to see. She looks at all the nonsense through the digital haze and says, now that's a no from me, dog, in these troubled modern days. She's got a crew of dingbats, but she guides them with her hand. 'Cause Maggie Gray's the truest voice in this whole weary land. Yeah, Maggie Gray's the only anchor in the shifting sand. Got a text that Rubenstein was out there on the court. His tennis match, I tell you what, was pitifully short. His backhand's like a broken gate, his serve is off or not. Just another thing for Max, file away in thought. She shakes her head, lets out a sigh, and leans into the mic. Dealing with the chaos is just something that she likes. She looks at all the nonsense through the digital haze and says, now that's a no from me, dog, in these troubled modern days. She's got a crew of dingbats, but she guides them with her hand. 'Cause Maggie Gray's the truest voice in this whole weary land. Yeah, Maggie Gray's the only anchor in the shifting sand. In this whole weary land. Yeah, someone check on Peter. And for the love of all that's holy, get that stream on for the man.
One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. This portion of the show is brought to you by Wesley Financial. Stuck in a timeshare, want out? Contact Wesley Financial Group now and get a free timeshare exit information kit at wesleyfinancialgroup.com. So yesterday, the internet was taken over by Pablo Torre, which has been happening a lot lately. He is an investigative reporter now for The Athletic. If he calls you up, just throw your phone into a river because you're in big trouble.
Yeah. It's like the feds are going to be at your door any minute.
And the funny thing is,
Roseman making a trade request.
Yeah,
the most random things ever. I think on our bingo cards of stories that were going to come up yesterday, the Clippers cheating on Kawhi Leonard's contract was not anywhere to be seen. But big bombshell dropped. So, Maggie, why don't you explain exactly what happened?
Okay, so we'll play some sound here from Pablo's podcast. And this all came to light because of a company called Aspiration, which I've looked up 6 different times, and I'm still not exactly sure what they do.
They plant trees, right?
Maybe,
Tree
but
huggers?
it didn't look like they were even doing that. The long story short, they got a lot of investment, but then the founder was arrested on felony fraud charges.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
It was like an eco-friendly digital bank. Okay. Anyway, Steve Ballmer was all in. So here's Pablo Torre first revealing about this tree company called Aspiration that lists, of all people, Kawhi Leonard as a creditor because obviously this company has filed for bankruptcy with the founder sitting in jail.
On that list of creditors, up near the top, above the Boston Red Sox, is an LLC, a tiny little company that Aspiration owes $7 million. And that LLC's name, David, is what?
KL2 Aspire LLC.
And what does it list there under manager or member name?
Kawhi Leonard.
Whose NBA jersey number, just to connect all of the dots here, happens to be what?
Number 2.
Yeah, so David Sampson there, Amin El-Hassan, both sitting in with Pablo Torre. So essentially,
He's Derek Jeter, man.
the Kawhi Leonard was being paid by this company that has since gone bankrupt and been completely fraudulent for like a marketing deal, Pearl, like a sponsorship deal, where Kawhi Leonard would be a spokesperson for this company. But it turns out Kawhi Leonard never publicly acknowledged the company and didn't have to do anything to earn this marketing money.
Okay, he's getting all this money, millions of dollars. What I started doing was scour the internet for any mentions of Aspiration. Any appearances, tweets, quotes, Instagram posts, anything by Kawhi Leonard endorsing Aspiration. And this was hard to find. The grand total number of times that I found Kawhi Leonard ever publicly referencing Aspiration, 0 times.
Yeah, 0 times. When they had other celebrity endorsers like Leonardo DiCaprio and Drake and Robert Downey Jr., and they were doing something to acknowledge this company, Pro, whether it was retweets, tweets, anything like that. Kawhi Leonard did nothing and was getting paid $7 million a year. Now, here's Pablo with an anonymous employee from this company, Aspiration, that's gone bankrupt, that's now being accused of basically being a shell company. Well, not being a shell company, a company that went bankrupt that could have been used for Steve Ballmer, who invested $50 million of his own money in this company, the Clippers owner. It was used so that they could circumvent the salary cap and pay Kawhi Leonard. Here's an employee with their voice distorted to protect their identity.
What was your reaction? What were you told?
My reaction was, what the f***? And I was told, like, oh, these are the major contracts and the major players you really need to be aware of. And we went through a litany of, really, really top-tier name contracts. And then, oh, by the way, we also have a marketing deal with Kawhi Leonard, a $28 million organic marketing sponsorship deal with Kawhi. And that if I had any questions about it, essentially don't, because it was to circumvent the salary cap. LOL.
LOL.
Ha. Yeah, that was an anonymous employee who worked in the finance department of this company, Aspiration, that Steve Ballmer, the Clippers owner, was a heavy investor in, saying that they were passing money through the company with this no-show marketing gig for Kawhi Leonard to pad his pockets even more.
Yeah, I mean, one of my first thoughts is like, God, once again, Kawhi sounds like an idiot for not even like pretending to do any marketing for them.
Or that fact the company name is KL2 Aspire.
Yeah. I mean, this is, for some reason, this feels like the right player to do something like this. Like, my thought was like, when you do a no-show job in The Sopranos, like you at least like show up once in a while and sit on a lawn chair. Like, Kawhi, try a little here.
That was actually written into his contract that he didn't have to do anything that went against his beliefs. So
1,160 toilets.
He didn't believe in working.
Beliefs like common sense.
Yeah, I guess not. Well, I don't even know. I mean, how much do you think? And I'm not taking Kawhi Leonard off the hook here. The allegations look pretty bad. There's a mountain of evidence that suggests that he was getting money from this company to do nothing to circumvent the salary cap. I also think that Kawhi is kind of in some ways a bystander for his uncle Dennis, who actually is kind of feels like he's running the show. Now, again, Kawhi's a grown adult, so I don't want to infantize him, whatever that word is. But it does always
infantilize.
Infantilize. Thank you. It feels like Uncle Dennis, his handler, is the guy who's always there with this handout, because the NBA actually had to investigate this before, where Kawhi Leonard, when he signed with the Clippers, it raised some eyebrows. Like, did they sweeten the pot? And there was a thought that Uncle Dennis was asking teams, what can you do for us on top of just the exorbitant contract that they gave Kawhi?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, like my non-rational reactions were, Steve Ballmer's an idiot. Like, this is consistent with thinking James Harden's going to lead you to an NBA title. Like, that guy might have money, but like he was just at the right place at the right time, because he is not a smart owner. And this is a perfect example. Like, how do you be so brazen? Like, I'll bet you this happens all over the place. Did you think the same thing? Like, there are gray areas where players do promotions for companies that are associated with the team. It's a way, and it could be totally above the board. A player might choose a city where he knows he's going to get a lot more marketing dollars, right? Like that's the way the world works. But to do it this way is just like, unless they can totally disprove it, I'm just like, oh my God, he's an idiot.
Well, Mark Cuban came out and defended him and said, Steve Ballmer is not an idiot, and he would never he has so much money, over $100 billion, right? He has so much money that he could save any company from bankruptcy if he knew that this was all going to become public and it would come back on him and boomerang back on him. He could dig any company out of bankruptcy. It didn't have to go to bankruptcy.
But then why would he get a guy whose usage percentage is like an NBA record high, who plays no defense, and James Harden, who can't deliver in the big moments of the playoffs? Like, if he thought that was going to work, then Cuban's wrong. Like, he's not smart enough to save any company, because he can't save his own team.
Well, the irony of this is that they could do all this cheating, allegedly, and they still haven't won jack squat. And so...
Yeah, unless they go, and can he invent a time machine to get Kawhi 5 years ago? Because that's the other thing. That was EJ's reaction immediately. I think, like, Kawhi Leonard is clearly washed. Why is he getting extra money?
Yeah, it was to entice him to re-sign, right? To get there and then to re-sign with them. And by the way, he re-signed for the max that it was allowed at the time. And now this was just money on top of it, allegedly, to make Uncle Dennis whole. I don't know, but... Here's the bottom line about this. Whatever the TikTok of the scandal is, however salacious you think it is, the NBA's got to come down really hard on the Clippers. I saw that one of the fines that the NBA teams get for things like this is $7.5 million. So basically the same as a Kawhi Leonard no-show job for a year. It's got to be draft picks like it was back in Minnesota in 2000 with the Joe Smith scandal where they were promising him, hey, take a smaller deal now. We're going to get you on the back end. The next time around, we'll make it bigger. They threw the book at Minnesota. That was the David Stern era. I think they've got to get real heavy-handed here because you mentioned Pablo Torre was on Dan Patrick's show yesterday kind of teasing, my tip line is now a Jalen Brunson, everyone pointed the finger at Jalen Brunson, who signed this very team-friendly deal. If you want to actually have parity in your league or whatever a salary cap is supposed to do, you got to make sure it can do that. And you got to throw the book at these owners that are so brazen, if this is actually true, to do stuff like this.
Yeah. It also brings up the point, like these players are obviously underpaid in the current system because it's like college. There's a black market evolving where owners are like, well, I want to get above the salary cap, which is the way it used to be. And you used to be able to sort of buy a title. But there's the thing about it, like Ballmer clearly can't buy a title, even if he cheats. The NBA, like you can't, I'd like to see Joe Lacob, the Warriors, he spends a lot, right? But, but I don't think you can spend your way to NBA titles. Like wouldn't the Knicks have done that by now?
Well, yeah. I mean, you also need the combination of the right people running the team. But, to be honest, like the Warriors did take advantage of a salary cap spike, which is when they were able to get Kevin Durant, but everyone had access to that spike. This was not going above and beyond. But I'm curious about whether or not the Knicks now get mentioned. People now are going back into Tom Brady and Robert Kraft and how Brady always took these team-friendly deals. Now, there's nothing you can do about that now, but...
Oh, my God. I mean, he's a perfect candidate because he's always got some weird business stuff going on, too. Like, how do we know that that's not tied to Kraft? And who can blame Robert Kraft if he did that?
Oh, the Patriots cheated every which way.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny. I'm very accepting of that for some reason. I'm like, that's not even the top 5 of worst things they possibly did in the 20s. I mean, sorry, Maggie. I know he beat your Bills a lot. But
that's all right. They didn't need anything extra to beat those Bills teams. That was not what you needed the salary cap circumvention for.
I don't want to start any rumors, but do we know that the Pagulas didn't help pay for that fancy wedding of Josh Allen this summer? Maybe gave him a good deal on the catering?
I mean, it'd be about damn time. Josh Allen's making all of them so much money.
Now that's investigative journalism right there.
Riding Josh Allen's coattails.
Christian McCaffrey made sure he got his contract up above board. I respect that guy.
To pay for his wedding.
Yeah, held out. Kept it secret. Got the money and then got the wedding.
The Niners are oddly cheap, though. They probably were not paying like extra on top of the other thing.
They weren't drinking the best, you're saying? They weren't drinking the best sparkling?
No, I don't think the Niners owners would go cheat the salary cap.
Yeah, I got you.
I wonder who was the actual, bread makers in those relationships. The Josh Allen relationship and the Christian McCaffrey marriage.
Oh, the McCaffrey marriage? Well, Tom Brady. I mean, Giselle was bringing in a lot of coin.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, I think Haley makes a lot. I don't think it's NFL quarterback money, though. I'd be surprised.
Yeah,
Is she a $20 million a film actress?
No, she does more critical darlings like Sinners. I don't think she got $20 million for that. That was kind of a low budget Oscar kind of movie.
I mean, like $5 million maybe.
So speaking of sinners, and Peter, we'll get to you in a moment. I know you're sitting here.
I thought you were going to call me a sinner for a second. No. Oh, my God.
You're the most pious person on the show, quite frankly.
Yannick Sinner.
We'll get to your update in a moment, but I just want to tie this in for a second. So I want to see Sinners really badly because everyone says it's great. It's a 3-hour movie, and football season's about to start. But I do want to see it. My husband goes, it's like a horror movie, though, which I loathe. I cannot watch scary movies. They stay with me for too long. They disturb me. You literally were emailing us about this yesterday about a horror movie that's now entered your life in a bad way.
Peter, you might relate to this. My daughter, who's 13, came up to me. She's, Daddy, I got to talk to you about something. She calls me Dad, actually.
Saying Daddy?
No, I don't know. It sounded better that way.
Daddy.
And I pray she's not listening to this. But she's like, I just saw this long TikTok on the movie Saw and what happened, and now I can't get it out of my head. And then I'm like, honey, it's not real. I'll go and I'll read the description and explain how it's fake. So I go on Wikipedia and read about the movie Saw from, I think, 2004. Now I'm scared, too. So we got a scared dad. I'm like, do you guys know the plot of this movie? It is terrifying.
I never will watch those movies, ever.
You couldn't pay me to watch Saw.
Can I pay you to read the Wikipedia entry? Because that'll keep you up at night.
All I'm seeing here is Adam, a photographer, awakens in a dilapidated bathtub with his ankle chained to a pipe.
It gets way worse from there. Vanny, have you seen any of these movies?
Hell no. Can't
Yeah.
no. The concept of paying $15 just so I could be scared for 95 minutes is so stupid to me.
So we're a show of wimps. I love it.
Yeah,
No,
I'm with Maggie. I can't watch these horror movies. No.
You call me a wimp. I say financially smart.
Yeah. Sinners, by the way, nothing like that. Sinners is not scary.
But it's vampires, no?
Yeah, it's vampires. But vampires are not as scary as a real human who wants to form a human jigsaw puzzle. Sorry.
Oh, God.
Maybe dump that.
Yeah, I can't watch scary stuff, although I watch the Jets every week. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Oh!
Horror
Look
show.
at that.
Look at Peter Schwartz with the jokes.
With the zinger, yeah.
Where's the?
Who brought this guy?
Where's the bing bing?
Yeah. Play
The
one of
rim
the other
shot?
stupid drops when I'm here.
All right, Peter, hold tight for a second, will you?
Sure.
We don't want to shortchange that kind of genius.
Yeah. I mean, we doing Elijah Vera Tucker in the update? Is that what you're talking about?
I mean, I was livid yesterday. Oh, my God. I
Sorry.
started.
We'll get to the Jets
I was
guard
drinking on my
in a moment.
podcast yesterday talking about it.
Wow. Things are bleak.
Yeah, move over.
You know who your
Move over,
quarterback
Shaw.
is, right?
Here come the 2025 New York Jets.
We'll get to all the latest headlines in just a moment. Plus, very important update for you, which is, speaking of those Krafts, which we're now wondering, what were those black bags they were handing to Tom Brady all those years? I'm just kidding. They made another big declaration yesterday. We'll get to that and Peter Schwartz's headlines. It's Maggie Perloff Show.
Oh, is it Coke?
You're in a 5-minute break.
Well, the autumn air was coming around 10. BT and Sal were talking about the Jets defense again. Just a normal Wednesday broadcast on the WFR, taking calls from angry fellas, every single fan. The YouTube chat was scrolling, the super chats did fly, when the studio door creaked open beneath the tri-state sky. Oh, Drunkle Sam came stumbling with a brew right in his hand. He crashed the live stream party, posing for the land. He bellowed at the camera with a wild and starry gaze. Said, I'm here to talk the Giants through this dog day haze. He's a red, white, and blue collar who just couldn't wait in line. Yeah, Drunkle Sam on YouTube, a legendary sign. Squinted at the booth and said this team ain't working hard. Then he looked around and hollered, did Bellotti pull his card? I swear that boy's a phantom, a ghost upon the breeze. He punches in his hours from a hammock in the tree. Sam said at least there's winners, that much I understand. Like Billy serving aces with the racket in his hand. I saw him on the court myself, it was a crying shame. Poor Rube just couldn't handle the power of this game. A six love lesson in the morning sun so bright. Some boys show up for battles and some just miss the fight. Oh, Drunkle Sam came stumbling with a brew right in his hand. He crashed the live stream party, posing for the land. He bellowed at the camera with a wild and starry gaze. Said, I'm here to talk the Giants through this dog day haze. He's a red, white, and blue card who just couldn't wait in line. Yeah, Drunkle Sam on YouTube, a legendary sign. Blurry top hadn't vanished in a flash, leaving BT speechless and Sal counting out the cash. From Bellotti's empty office to the tennis court so green, the strangest damn live segment that the world has ever seen. Yeah, the strangest thing we've ever seen. Y'all tune in tomorrow then. Quarter after 10, BT and Sal were talking about the Jets defense again. Just a normal Wednesday broadcast on the WFR, taking calls from angry fellas, every single fan. The YouTube chat was scrolling, the super chats did fly. When the Maggie's got some giant feet,
30 seconds
they're the
remaining.
talk of the town. When she walks the sidewalk crack, she's bringing buildings down. She tried to buy some shoes, they said no
15 seconds.
way. Now she's wearing both sales just to get through the day.
Break ends in 5 seconds.
The real big deal, stepping on puddles, creating lakes for real. Maggie's giant.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. NFL season kicks off tonight. Perloff's Eagles on their title defense. The Dallas Cowboys, one of the most talked about teams ever, especially this offseason with the trade of Micah Parsons. So much on the table in this game.
It's going to be a hard night for you guys because the Eagles do the celebration before and look good during the game. I've been pretty insufferable since mid-February. It's going to be tough tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's why it's really important that Dallas shows up in this game.
Am I rooting for the Cowboys because of Perloff? This is awful.
Yeah,
Welcome to life with
weird
a
bedfellows.
Philadelphia Eagle fan in it.
Well, listen, I gave you an out. Now we have a show bet going on. How many times will Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth say Micah Parsons' name?
We set the line at 8.5, and I have the under, and you have the over. So
I
whoever
kept-
wins buys breakfast tomorrow.
I think you think 8.5 is too high. I mean,
do.
come on. We got all game.
Is it the whole broadcast or is it just
no.
kickoff
It's
to the end of the game?
It's when Mike Tirico and Collinsworth come on screen.
Okay.
So I get a little
It's over.
pregame.
Okay, wait. I just want to make sure for any technicalities here. Sometimes in the post-game show, they
Yeah.
might bring Collinsworth back
Nope.
on.
No.
Doesn't exist. Okay.
Nope.
So it's from when Collinsworth slides in to when Tirico throws it to whoever's in the studio.
Maria Taylor.
Maria
I guess.
Taylor.
Maria Taylor.
Do they go to the studio on this game? Probably. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
They don't normally do Thursday night games, so it's a weird schedule for NBC.
So Jason Garrett can
But
give
they're
us
probably on
riveting
site, though.
commentary.
Probably the whole thing is on site. They probably aren't back in New York. They
I'm
probably
getting-
have the whole thing in New York, in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you're probably right. Good TV production.
Yeah.
No.
All right, we've broken it down. By the way, this is all available online if we actually looked into this before.
Nah, we got it. So that's the line, 8.5. How many times do they mention Micah Parsons tonight? The loser buys breakfast tomorrow. Schwartz, are you with us tomorrow? You might get
I
breakfast.
am not, but I'm going to go with the over just to include myself in the
Okay.
in the proceedings.
You're
I'm going with the
Perloff's
over.
side. All right, what else you
sounds
got for us
sounds like
today?
I'm getting breakfast from Schwartz as well. Sounds good.
If I'm not here, then I'm not part of the.
It's all
of the-
good.
of
I'll
the
take
payment.
Venmo,
I'm
Cash App, whatever you got. Venmo, Cash App, Zelle. I got you, baby.
Apple Pay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I'm all there.
Anything but cash.
I've gotten used to learning Apple Pay with two kids
yeah,
who
of
are always
course.
asking for money. So, and it was always my wife that took care of it. And now I just recently learned how to use it because I didn't know how to use Apple
It's
Pay.
great, right?
Well, it depends on your point of view. For the kids, it's great. It's not so great for me.
It depends what your bank account looks like. At Apple Pay, the money goes in, the money goes out. Way too easy.
Yeah. But it helps you track your kids. You know what they're doing. I got to be honest. Yeah, I got a random one the other day. I'm speaking of horror movies. I got a $29.99 bill from TikTok on my Apple Pay. I'm like,
Ooh.
what
From
the heck is
TikTok?
that? Is it like from Russia or something? I still haven't
Don't
figured
click
it
on
out.
it. Your daughter's probably bought something on TikTok, right?
TikTok shop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you can buy stuff from there.
Mm-hmm. TikTok shop.
Oh, they'll sell you crap anywhere.
Amen.
What is TikTok shop?
You're
What
about
is
to find
TikTok?
out.
Yeah. Keep looking at those Apple charges, buddy.
I mean,
They're coming.
It's probably your daughter's buying clothes or something.
Makeup, maybe.
Listen, half of it is I'm trying to watch the NFL, and I have about 9 different services at play right now. That's another thing. By the way, we haven't even gotten into that, Maggie. What's happening with RedZone? Oh my God!
I love how the NFL's like, hey, just a heads up. Tomorrow we're charging you $550. I'm like, oh well, thank you for the warning. All right, Peter, what do you
I have to at least get the spot in here. This update is brought to you by Progressive Commercial Insurance. It protects small businesses with affordable coverage options. Quote today at progressivecommercial.com.
Oh,
Coke? I'm going to get to that in a second. The NFL season gets underway tonight at Lincoln Financial Field as the Super Bowl champion Eagles take on the Cowboys. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni is ready to go.
Now we got to go do it. We got to let our habits take over in the game. As coaches, we got to let our habits take over in the game as players. But I feel good about where we are right now. And this will be a really good test against a really good opponent.
An opponent in the Cowboys that no longer has Micah Parsons, but quarterback Dak Prescott says the Cowboys are in a good place.
We added a great player. Obviously got some picks for the future. I'm not going to say we're better. We've got to go out there and prove it. We'd have to prove it even if he was on this team. So I'm not going to say that by any means. But I know adding a guy like Kenny Clark, adding a true leader, a real man that's going to only elevate this team, who's been a Pro Bowl player and is excited about being here.
Kickoff tonight's at 8:20 Eastern Time. We got to jump on mentioning Micah Parsons there.
Yeah. By the way, I wasn't aware until last week that Kenny Clark is the greatest human being in the history of the NFL. Were you guys aware of that?
Everything feels like shade towards Micah. I know he's just praising a teammate, but like he's a Pro Bowler, a real man. Is that what he said? A leader?
Yeah.
A real man. I know that he doesn't mean that against Micah. I'm like, all right, he's a Pro Bowler, great. Micah Parsons, all pro. There's a difference.
Well, everyone's talking about character with Kenny Clark. I saw an Albert Breer report that Green Bay did not want to let him go because he's such a leader. And then I saw this TikTok video actually of him behind the scenes with this cute little family coming to Dallas. It does seem like there's some intangibles with Kenny Clark. I mean, there better be a lot of them because they just let him, Micah Parsons go.
No, I love that the Packers are like, yeah, we really didn't want him to go. No, Kenny, don't go. But we'll actually trade his ass out of town with 2 first-round picks to get Micah Parsons.
True leader, a real man.
Real man.
The Koch family has reportedly agreed to buy a 10% stake. Koch. You never heard of them before?
No, I haven't. I thought it was Koch.
Well, neither did I. Koch family has reportedly agreed to buy a 10% stake in the new. Apparently, they're involved in textiles. I did a little research.
Good.
In between updates.
Yeah.
I feel like I had to educate myself.
They made their money on textiles? I thought it was energy.
I Googled them and something came up with textiles.
Okay.
You have that much money, you're probably
in a lot of things.
Yeah, you got your hand in a lot of jars.
The deal would come with a $10 billion valuation pending approval by league owners, could come as soon as their next meeting in October. I imagine we're out of time.
We are, but thank you for that. And we've got a lot to do, including something we're really excited about. So starting top of the hour, we are starting the Maggie and Perloff Mount Olympus. No, we are starting the Maggie and Perloff King of the Mountain.
Should I dump that?
Please do. We did it for so long. King of the Mountain.
Yeah.
This is going to be going all season long. Every Thursday, we are searching for the greatest NFL team of all time.
Oh, my God.
Just single team, one single season. And so today's head-to-head matchup is the 1998 Minnesota Vikings, thought to be the greatest team to never win a Super Bowl, Pro.
Yep.
Up against the 1972 Miami Dolphins, the only team to be undefeated wire to wire.
Ooh, this is good.
Which was the better team? You're going to help us decide.
Just want to point out, the Koch brothers obviously made their money in oil, not textiles. Well, how do you think this world works, Peter Schwartz?
Just like Jerry Jones. Okay, 888-710-4ISN. The King of the Mountain is next.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
NFL season kicks off tonight. The Eagles launch their title defense. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. And, you want to give the proper respect to your Philadelphia Eagles, Pearl, but forgive me if this is not a little more interesting to me from the Cowboys side of things because of the big Micah Parsons trade that went down not 2 weeks ago. Are they actually going to be able to get a handle on Saquon Barkley? Because the whole deal about trading Micah Parsons was we got to stop the run. And I know it's for the future, maybe not for week one, but they did bring in Kenny Clark. They're talking him up really big. Defensive tackle for the Green Bay Packers. And so I think it matters tonight how this looks for the Dallas Cowboys against your Eagles.
I mean, listen, there's a scenario where Dak Prescott just goes off. What if George Pickens has 2 long touchdown passes, puts the Eagles in a position where they can't run the ball and Jalen Hurts has to throw? That's not where they want to be. So, and we've seen Dak just destroy the Eagles. He owns the Eagles. He's very good against them. So I don't think 8.5 kind of does feel right to me, but we forget that there have been surprising Cowboys teams in the past. It's just hard to see it with Brian Schottenheimer. It's hard to see that 12-5 season coming. Then again, we didn't see it when Mike McCarthy came in, but this going to a continuation of the previous coaching regime, Schottenheimer was there. Just a radical new Cowboys really is hard for me to imagine. Can you see it at all?
I just think I hate to do the participation trophy thing. We're talking about professional athletes and grown men, but I do think it matters how it looks. Like if Dak has this really big game, I think the Cowboy fans can feel better. Like, all right, it does maybe feel a little bit, I can't say clean slate because Dak's been there forever, but it does feel a little like they have turned the page. Maybe somehow Jerry was right. Maybe this is exactly what the team needed because let's not forget, they talked about stopping the run, and we all know that's true. But they also started talking about the locker room and about Micah Parsons being a distraction and about, his personality and the podcast and all that ancillary stuff. How does that actually impact, if at all, this team? And we'll never know because we're not in the locker room. But if they can beat the Eagles tonight, or if it looks really good, say this is a 1-score game in the fourth quarter, maybe you can squint and say, all right, the Cowboys have come together. They've gelled maybe through this, and they found an identity.
Okay. That sounds. I mean, let's face it. Can they stop the run? Can they run the ball? And I don't know if that has to do with locker room character. I mean, honestly, the way that Micah Parsons is being painted is Dak Prescott is someone that everybody loves. Has Dak Prescott proved himself to be a leader when the chips are down?
No, and that's why a lot of people think he'll never win a Super Bowl.
Right, and now, but he's the good guy, and Micah Parsons was the bad guy. So I just think you can spin the locker room narrative any way you want. It comes down to, can they stop the run and can they run the ball?
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Does this matter how it looks tonight for the Dallas Cowboys? I think for the Eagles, it's going to be hard to repeat. I think the biggest thing standing in their way is themselves. Not that they're going to be so high on themselves that they, think that all of a sudden the Super Bowl is a given. What I'm talking about is dealing with adversity. I always thought this team was kind of teetering. I don't trust the Jalen Hurts-Nick Sirianni relationship. Nick Sirianni now is offensive coordinator. Kellen Moore has gone to the New Orleans Saints. We know he's a coach that heavily relies on the coordinators because he doesn't call plays, right? And he's more of the vibes guy. Mm-hmm. That's gone sideways in the past for the Eagles when you've had to replenish those coordinators. Now, you still have Vic Fangio on the defense, so that's a good sign.
They did a terrible job replacing the coordinators last time. But for me, the way bigger concern is health. Landon Dickerson was hurt in the preseason. He will play their left guard. Lane Johnson is getting up there. When Lane Johnson gets hurt, he's like TJ Watt is to the Steelers. The Eagles just cannot win without him. But he's 35. So the O-line is obviously the secret sauce to this offense. You might have definitely multiple Pro Bowlers. You might have multiple Hall of Famers. So if you get a couple injuries on that O-line, that is my biggest concern. Also, the secondary is thin. I'm a little worried about this. We'll see. In today's day and age, you need a lot of cornerbacks. You need to go nickel and dime. That worries me too. But health is number one. This locker room stuff, if everybody's healthy, they're going to win enough games where when they're winning, they can get along. That's all I will say.
Okay, one other question about the Eagles, and we're going to turn our attention to our King of the Mountain, which is our year-long search for the greatest NFL team of all time, the greatest individual season of all time. The NFL wants to ban the tush push. Now, they did not get the votes necessary this offseason, Pearl. Is there a thought that maybe there's a little extra pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles to win another Super Bowl while you still have that magical play that you run better than every other team in the league?
Do you know what percentage typical quarterback sneaks convert on? It's like in the high 80s. Do you know what the tush push is? In the low 90s.
Boo.
Just quarterback sneak. Who cares?
Listen,
we don't even need the tush push. It's a quarterback sneak.
It's a game that's won on the margins.
A game is it's Jalen Hurts. He could get a quarterback. Tom Brady got every single quarterback sneak since the beginning of time. It is one of the more overrated things. If they banned it, then I think the Eagles would just quarterback sneak. Like Tom Brady. You how many times you see Brady get stuffed?
It feels like never. I don't remember a time. I don't remember specifically, if there's ever a moment when he was going for this, massive fourth down and 4th and 1, and he got stopped. It's not in my recollection, but I don't know. I mean,
well, did you worry about the tush push when Jason Kelce retired? Probably, and guess what? Didn't even matter.
I said at that point Cam Jurgens was the most important non-quarterback in the NFL, and I was laughed out of the room, but I think it was important because he was now snapping the ball to Jalen Hurts.
I just think that the actual impact might be overrated. Maybe it gives him a confidence. Maybe that's what we're talking about. But listen, they won the Super Bowl in 2017, and they didn't know how to tush push then.
Fair point. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, the question, does the game have to look a certain way for Dallas tonight to avoid all-out panic with that franchise? I'm going to say that's a big old yes. All right. Excited about this, guys. Maggie and Perloff's King of the Mountain.
Who is the King of the Mountain? Maggie and Perloff search for the greatest NFL team of all time.
It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do this every Thursday. And we have a randomizer, basically. We came up with the 25 teams.
Yep.
A pool of 25 teams. And we put them into, EJ, explain the randomizer.
Yeah, so it's basically a pseudo kind of wheel of fortune, a virtual wheel that spins on my computer. It has all 25 teams that we picked, and it spits out whatever team comes up. So the first 2 teams we did, we spun the wheel yesterday. We came up with these great squads.
Now, people are going to think that we're lying and that we just actually put these 2 up against each other. I promise you, hand to the Lord, this was a randomizer from the computer. Here are your first 2 teams going head-to-head. The 1998 Minnesota Vikings.
That team was a very special team. Just so laden with talent. You had Hall of Famers on it. Chris Carter.
What a catch by Carter!
Randy Moss.
We've got a star on our hands in the NFL, Randy Moss.
We had an answer offensively for whatever you wanted to do defensively.
And it's almost like the Cowboys defense can't defend them.
Just a magnificent performance by this Minnesota offensive machine.
I'd never seen anything like that.
Touchdown!
It was like cartoonish. I think we were averaging like 40 points a game.
Yeah, that Vikings team actually never scored less than, I believe it was 24 points in a game. That was the lowest total that they had. So that was Brian Billick, you heard, the offensive coordinator for the Vikings in 98, and comedian Nick Schwartz talking about the Vikings.
I like Nick Schwartz.
Nick Schwartz and Adam Sandler movie guy.
Yeah.
He's in every Adam Sandler movie.
The 1998 Minnesota Vikings, which we will go through in more depth, they go up against, man, this is a doozy right out of the gate, the 1972 undefeated Miami Dolphins.
Aww.
As the triumphant Miami Dolphins returned from Super Bowl VII, a throng of thousands gave a winner's welcome to the team, Coach Don Shula, and owner Joe Robbie.
This is the Vince Lombardi Trophy for the winner of the Super Bowl.
The 7 years since Joe Robbie was granted a franchise in the old AFL, Miami not only won the Super Bowl, but had gone an entire season undefeated. A feat no other NFL team in history has accomplished. it is unlikely ever to happen again.
All right. EJ put the poll up. 1998 Minnesota Vikings versus the 72 Dolphins.
I mean, the Dolphins you gave Facenda. I mean, that's a cheat code right there. The voice of NFL films. So cool.
Crazy to go back through some of these seasons, right? So the 72 Dolphins, obviously 14-0 in the regular season, then 17-0 to end the year. Don Shula in his third season, still the only perfect season ever, obviously.
Yep.
You had Bob Greasy at quarterback, broke his ankle in week 5. Earl Morrall took over, started the rest of the season. He was 38 at the time. That was Bob Greasy, too. Pearl, do you remember who broke his ankle?
I have no idea.
Broke his ankle on a sack. Week 5 against the Chargers. Deacon Jones broke his ankle. Greasy came back in the second half of the AFC Championship game and then obviously started the Super Bowl as well. They had to go on the road in that AFC Championship game to play in Pittsburgh because the way that the playoffs were formatted, even though they were undefeated, they did not get home field advantage throughout.
Yeah, that is weird.
It is crazy.
That's a year. Is that the year of the Immaculate Reception? That is, right?
Larry Zonka, Mercury Morris, the first two teammates to both rush for 1,000 yards each.
Yeah.
The no-name defense led by Nick Bonacani, who I just named a name. But amazing.
Yeah, I spent with my previous career, when I was with the NFL, I spent a day with Jim Kick, who was the third running back in that triumvirate. And we did this big event outside the stadium in Davies. And just the pride of that team, too. Here's the thing about that team. They would run it down your throat. All they cared about was running.
Yep.
It didn't even matter when Earl Morrall came in, who had his own accomplishments as an NFL quarterback, but it's irrelevant. That's why, I don't know if we're giving away our votes, but it's hard to imagine slowing down that run attack because it's an all-timer. Zonka was a machine. Mercury Morris was impossible. He was like a little joystick guy. And then Jim Kick was the special sauce and the personality of the team. He was amazing. So it was really a perfect team.
And a team that still pops champagne every time the last undefeated team goes down.
Yeah.
So you got to love the pettiness there. Not petty. It's like keeping alive the memory of that team. Okay, so they go up against the 1998 Vikings. This is the Maggie and Perloff King of the Mountain. Yes.
Which is my favorite. That's my favorite team of all time, too.
Because of Randall Cunningham?
Randall Cunningham, my guy, former Eagles quarterback. You have no idea how out of nowhere that season came for Randall. I mean, I know you know, but it was not expected. Got rode out of town. Nobody respected him as a quarterback. Everyone thought he was just a runner, and then bombs away in Minnesota.
Bombs away is right. They had 52 plays of 25 or more yards that season, the 98 Vikings. They had 22 plays of 40-plus yards. It's crazy. They scored 556 points in that season, which was a record. And the defense was great, too. Top 6 defense, led by John Randall, obviously the Hall of Famer. Now, if you're a Viking fan, close your ears on this one because you know what happened. You're upset by the Atlanta Falcons in the NFC Championship game. Final score 30-27. How it went down, of course, is Gary Anderson, legendary, because he did not miss a field goal or a PAT all season long. He was 35 for 35 all year. What happens? 2 minutes left, basically, in the NFC Championship game. They can take a 10-point lead. He misses a 39-yard field goal. Atlanta goes down, ties the game up, goes to overtime. Minnesota wins the coin toss. Did not score on the first 2 possessions that they had in OT. The Atlanta Falcons end up scoring it with sudden death, and they go on to the Super Bowl. Just crazy that that's how that season ended, considering the Hall of Famers on that team, how innovative the offense was, how explosive it was. Denny Green was in his 7th season as the Vikings head coach at the time. It's an all-time team, but with a heartbreaking ending.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was innovative as much as Randy. You just outrun everybody, and we're going to throw it long to you. Yeah, it was. It was like nothing you'd ever seen. To me, the 2 most exciting players of that era were Deion Sanders on defense and Randy Moss on offense, because you know how some players just move differently? Randy was completely different. It was an incredible thing. That's why this is such a funny matchup to start with. You have the grinded-out running Dolphins against one of the most explosive teams on this list in Minnesota. But although Minnesota had a great running back, too, and Robert Smith, our buddy, who's one of the coolest people ever, he would get you, too. I don't know how to vote. I wanted to advance the 98 Vikings, but oh man, this is tough, Meg.
You got to give it to the 72 Dolphins. I'm not trying to sway the vote. This is for you, America and Canada. You can vote on this at Maggie and Pearl. I would give my vote to the Dolphins. Now, can I give the little negatives that each of these teams have in common, actually? And I don't know if we're going to see this a little more as we go on and trying to find the greatest NFL team of all time. Both of these teams had easy schedules. And listen, to be a great team, it's not taking away. Like, sometimes your opponent has to play a role. If you're talking about the Vikings, only 3 teams they faced that season finished with a winning record. For the 72 Dolphins, none of their regular season opponents made the playoffs that year, and only 2 had winning records. But where I'll give it to the Dolphins, they had to go on the road in that AFC Championship game despite being undefeated to play in Pittsburgh. I mean, that team
lost like 5 games in 5 years. I don't know
they
if it
won
mattered.
back-to-back Super Bowls. I know,
yeah,
but we're doing individual
who they're
seasons
playing.
here. We're doing individual seasons
Yeah,
here.
no, I'm just saying, like, that wasn't an anomaly just because they had an easy schedule. Like, their team was awesome the year before and awesome the team after. That was, to me, I'm not buying that function of schedule. It does make sense. I mean, the numbers don't lie, but that team was still totally legit. That 98 Vikings, I can buy that a little more, to be honest.
Who are you going with? What is the better team, the 98 Vikings, 72 Dolphins?
I'm definitely going with the 72 Dolphins. I'm voting on the poll at Maggie and Pearl. I'd tell you one thing, and this, maybe EJ, you can weigh in on this. If you're actually looking, if you put the 2 teams on the same field, of course, the 98 Vikings, because linemen back in 1972 weighed 260 pounds.
Right.
The whole league exploded physically in the late 80s, or actually in the 80s. So it was a different sport. And also, too, there were passing ideas that were not around in 1972. Bob Greasy's a Hall of Famer whose numbers look like he'd be a journeyman at this point.
No,
so,
Earl Morrall was like 5 for 14, like many of these games. It was not about the passing attack. But I think, just comparing them to teams of their own era.
Yeah, I think you have to do that. Otherwise, you're not going to have any teams from, I don't know what the cutoff line. Maybe, you know what, the 70 Steelers, if they put on a little more weight, could probably be, but just guys got bigger. Remember the Hogs? You guys probably know the Washington, then Redskins. They were all like, this is the most dominant offensive line ever. They're all like, this guy is 294 pounds. Can you believe? They even have a 300-pounder. Now you go to like a elite high school and everybody's 320.
Yeah, I know. 888-710-4ISN. Maggie and Perloff, King of the Mountain. Every Thursday at this time, we're going to put 2 teams up against each other. So the 98 Vikings are now head-to-head with the 72 Dolphins. So the Chris Carter, Randy Moss, Randall Cunningham Vikings up against the undefeated, perfect season of the 72 Dolphins. It's up at Maggie and Pearl right now. You can go vote, and then whoever wins, we will put them up against a new team next week. So it's literally King of the Mountain. If you win, you get to stay. So we'll see if maybe the Miami Dolphins do another run the table this season.
Wow, wire to wire.
Okay, wait. Can I tell you the fun facts that I found out about these 2 teams after the break?
Oh my God, I can't wait.
That was convincing.
I don't think you want to know my fun facts that I found doing research in both of these teams yesterday.
Yeah, we can't wait, Maggie.
Wait, I
want to know.
I don't want to be the
wanna
naysayer
know.
here.
I want to know.
My fun facts?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're fun. Very fun.
No?
Can't wait for those.
All right.
Well, I don't know if it's like in the spirit of what we're doing here. We're talking about football, like bang, and then boom and all that stuff. I don't want to hear like, a footnotes and like
you
citations.
Don't want to know what the price of milk was back in 1972?
I don't know.
It's not that.
I don't know what kind of details you're going to get into, but now I need to know.
All right, I got fun facts about the 98 Vikings and the 72 Dolphins right after this, and you can vote 888-710-4ISN. Which team deserves to be the king of the mountain? Now I'm going to be Maggie football here. Bro, we love this. PrizePicks, our obsession. When I tell you that nobody was more locked into the WNBA last night than me. I don't even think some of the players on the court were as locked in as I was. Because absolutely love what I can do on PrizePicks, which is so easy. You just take 2 or more players across any sport. So it could be WNBA, put that together with Major League Baseball. You pick more or less on their projections. And if you're right, you can win big. It's simple stats, it's user-friendly policies, and PrizePicks is the most fan-friendly app to make all your picks. Perloff, it goes without saying, all the picks are fast, they're safe, they're secure. this is what Pearl and I are going to be doing all season long, which is competing on PrizePicks.
Yeah, I mean, it's the fall. It's the best time of year because you have all these sports going, and that is so perfect for PrizePicks. All you have to do is download the PrizePicks app today and use the code MNP to get a $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play just $5. That's code MNP on PrizePicks to get $50 bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups for just playing, guaranteed. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P.
You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff show. Our King of the Mountain NFL contest, I guess we could call it contest, has begun. Every week, we are going to pit two great teams together. Whoever wins moves on to the next week and faces the next challenger. We use a randomizer. We pick the 25 best teams of all time. And then we randomize it. This week it started out with the 98 Vikings, Randy Moss's rookie year, against the undefeated 72 Dolphins. Tough matchup for Randy Moss and gang. So you could go to Maggie and Pearl and vote. Now, Maggie, you promised us some fun facts about both these teams. I can't wait.
Yeah. Are you sure? No. I was doing some research, obviously, about the 98 Vikings and about the 72 Dolphins last night, and I came across some stuff I thought you guys might find interesting.
Please.
You ready? I'll start
I can't wait.
I'll start with the 72 Dolphins, Pearl. Did you know that according to my research, fans in Miami could not watch any of the games of the 72 Dolphins because of the blackout rules that existed, even though the games were sold out? Peter Schwartz, you're here. You're nodding your head.
Yeah. Because
you knew this.
Back then, you couldn't watch your team at home.
So, but with the road games, they could watch.
They could watch the road games. So, but apparently it was Richard Nixon and his staff who in the White House were upset they couldn't watch the Washington team, the local team, and that led to some of these restrictions getting lifted.
Yeah, games that were sold out didn't matter. They wanted to protect the gate, make sure that people went to the games.
So those are the Reaganomics that I've always heard about?
Something like that.
Ah, okay.
So, 72 Dolphins, none of the people in South Florida could watch the home games on TV. So I thought that was interesting. And then for the Vikings, I did not realize that the Vikings were sold right before the 1998 season to a guy named Red McCombs. That's not important. Do you know who was at one point the front runner to buy the team in
1998?
Before the 98 season.
Well, I'm going to guess best of the question that it's the current president of the United States, or
nope.
Can I guess?
Vince McMahon.
Jerry Jones?
Prince.
No.
Oh, Jerry already owned his team.
You guys are way off.
Well, you set it up like it was going to be Trump.
No. Oh, I did? No.
I'd be like, okay, who could it be?
Tom Clancy, the author of all those spy novels. He was in line to own the
of course, Tom
Clancy.
What are you talking about?
Tom Clancy. You were clear and present danger?
I haven't thought of that name in like a decade. My God.
Yeah, I know.
I don't
Those
even.
books
I
made
don't
Harrison
believe.
Ford a lot of money.
I'm going to call. I'm going to call it.
I got a second source.
You did not get a second source.
I did. He was in line to buy the 1998 Vikings. It fell through, and it apparently 10 people. There were 10 owners of the Vikings, and they wanted to centralize it.
Somebody get Pablo Torre on it.
I don't believe this.
You don't need Pablo. You got Google.
No, I mean I believe you, but I still don't believe it. You know what I mean? Like because like Tom Clancy never emerged as a possibility for any other team.
It was like a one and done situation. I guess he almost bought the team. Mr. Clear and Present Danger himself, and all those other books.
So is
Jack Ryan books.
All right.
And movies.
And then Red McCombs bought it, and then he sold to Ziggy Will for like 2012 or something.
Yep. So there you go.
Wait, that's it? No, I thought you were going to get a gallon of gas. How much was a quart of milk? All that good stuff. I thought he was serious for a second. I'm a little disappointed now.
These are my fun facts. I gave you Tom Clancy. I gave you that nobody in South Florida could watch the Dolphins.
Didn't fulfill me.
And now you can watch games in your local market even if the game is not sold out. I think it only has to be like, was it 75% filled up?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, because I think they changed it a few years ago because a lot of teams were having trouble selling out, and I think
they removed the blackout rules in like 2015.
No, but I think there is a percentage of the stadium that has to get sold. I think they changed that rule a few years ago where you don't have to sell out the entire stadium. It's just a certain percentage of it.
That's so funny. I can't even imagine a game getting blacked out.
Oh, I remember in college very clearly. I was so happy because I went to college in Washington, D.C., and it happened to be one of those years where the Bills were playing the Baltimore Ravens. And I was like, finally, I can just sit on my couch and watch this game. I don't have to go to a sports
in 2023? When did you go to school?
This was like 2004.
Oh.
And I sat down to watch it, and it was blacked out.
Go Bills.
Weren't exactly selling out. It was not exactly the Bills-Ravens matchup that we're going to see Sunday night.
In D.C. and the Baltimore game was blacked out. In D.C.?
Yes.
That's weird.
It's
not the same city.
Brutal. Same, like, general area, though.
Oh, my God.
Same viewing area. Yeah.
Or were the Redskins on at the same time, and that's why you could...
Must have been.
Yeah.
But it was also just not the hype and the fanfare that the Bills-Ravens of Sunday night's going to bring with a potential AFC Championship preview.
0-4 Bills. Who's the quarterback?
Oh, it was awful. I don't even remember. I got to remember.
J.P. Lossman.
It's a good guess.
2004. Flutie?
Trent Edwards.
It might have been.
Right, when was the Music City Miracle? 2000?
Yeah, that was 2000. Flutie was gone.
Yeah.
It might have been Trent. This could have been a Dick Geron season. I got to go back.
And then
These are all very forgettable.
because they were blacked out. You didn't know what the heck was happening.
04?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, okay.
That wasn't too bad. You guys were 9-7.
Former Patriots quarterback?
Yes. And then Dallas quarterback, too.
Getting Drew Bledsoe on the Bills was one of the more depressing
Oh, it was so exciting when it happened.
It was, no, not
What?
really.
Are you kidding me? I remember that preseason hype.
Was he on the cover of Sports Illustrated?
Oh, that was huge.
I have a confession. For about $20, sophomore year of college, I bought a Bills Drew Bledsoe jersey. I have no
Nice.
idea where it is.
Oh, that'd
be
worth
cool now.
It was the white one with like the navy blue and the red on it. You
Yeah.
remember that era of the
Of
Bills?
course.
Oh, God, what an awful jersey combination.
Why was that depressing? He was still good.
There's something I think that's always a little bit depressing about your division rival. You getting like their sloppy seconds or their leftovers. It's like they said goodbye to him, so we'll take them. It's like Adam Gase coaching the Jets, or when Donovan McNabb went to Washington.
Yeah.
It's like it's just not as fun.
I welcomed Wade Boggs and Roger Clemens to the Yankees with open arms.
Yeah, counterpoint, Brett Favre to Minnesota.
Eventually, he got
Yeah,
there.
that worked. But yeah. No, but I think those guys were a little younger. But Bledsoe was in his prime. That's different.
But he was coming off of obviously this devastating injury. We almost died.
Yeah.
Remember that?
That little thing.
Blame the Jets once again.
That little Mo Lewis hit.
Let's get to Peter Schwartz. So anyway, you can go vote right now. Maggie and Perloff, King of the Mountain, the 1998 Vikings up against the 1972 Dolphins. Which was the better team? And whoever wins, they will remain King of the Mountain, and we'll put them up against another great team next week.
Yeah, and again, it's random, so we're not designing these because I'm not sure this is the first matchup we would have come up with. It couldn't have two more opposite teams.
Probably not. Peter, what do you got?
The Philadelphia Eagles set to unveil their Super Bowl banner tonight as the NFL season kicks off in Philadelphia with the Eagles hosting the Cowboys. Quarterback Jalen Hurts looking forward to working with some of the new players on the team.
It takes the togetherness and it takes the kind of evolution of just learning from everything that we go through as a team. And so that's the exciting part about embarking on a new journey is it's a new group and it'll be a new iteration of what this team is.
And the Eagles taking on their rival, the Cowboys, and Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer hoping his team doesn't tense up tonight.
What I don't want these guys to do, and I think the coaches are a big part of this, is go in there and try so hard. Oh, we're playing the Eagles. I'm going to do so hard. They're going to make mistakes if they do that. Play free. It's football. Fly around. Love being around with your brothers, man. Just run to the football. Celebrate. Have fun.
Man,
that sounded weird.
there's
That
only
really
two
did.
ways this is going to go with Schottenheimer. Either they're the next dynasty or he's out in 11 games.
I love that quote. Go get them. It's the Eagles. Let's do this thing.
No, he said, don't do that. The quote was, don't do that.
Nah, but it was kind of cute. It was like he was talking to his kids. Let's go play some football.
He sounded like somebody who was mocking what a head coach would say in the press conference. He actually, like, if we were to say, he said, play tough and don't, like,
He said
that would be something we would say, but to hear the coach actually talk like that was a little weird.
He's saying play loose.
Yeah.
Schottenheimer's a pretty normal guy. I don't know. You're painting him as some, like, wild card guy. I mean,
I just think there's a lot of boom or bust potential with this. Because first of all, is there a reason that he's been assistant for 30 years and never got a head coaching job?
yeah, because he's kind of average as an offensive coordinator. That's the thing. I think, like, with Brian Schottenheimer, you're kind of going right down the middle. It's kind of a safe pick. Yeah, it probably won't work, but it's not going to be a spectacular flame out where he's going to be a wild man.
No, not a wild man, but like, can you imagine in the amount of nepotism that happens in the NFL that his dad is Marty Schottenheimer and couldn't get a head coaching job? I just figured the last name alone would have given him an opportunity years ago.
But it's not like he was on, like, he wasn't an assistant on any Super Bowl teams. I mean, was he assistant on a Super Bowl? He was on some good Jets
he's been
teams.
on some really good teams.
Oh, Seahawks.
Was he the Seahawks? But I don't think he was was he coordinator in 2013?
That I don't know.
Anyway,
he was much later to that party, I think.
I don't think that. This feels like it might go one of two ways.
Ooh. Wow, really? I feel
really
like it might,
good or.
I feel like most people think it's going to go one of one ways.
Mid.
The toilet.
Mid to worse.
God, I hope so.
Like, is there anybody who thinks this is going to be Jimmy Johnson 2.0? I'd like to meet that person.
Jerry Jones.
I don't even think Jerry thinks that.
He literally said Herschel Walker.
Oh,
yeah, so he did.
Yeah, good point.
We didn't do baseball in the first 2 hours. Let's get to some baseball now, and we'll start in Chicago.
This might be another homer. Ozzie Albies deep to left, and it's gone. His second of the series. He is swinging a hot bat right now.
Ben Ingram, the call on Braves radio. The Braves beat the Cubs 5-1. Now to Tampa Bay.
Swing, line drive, base hit center field. Here comes Caminero to score. Right behind him, Josh Lowe, and he's in also to third Mangum. Fiducia makes it a snowman. 8-0 Rays in the second inning.
Andy Fried had the call on Rays radio, and the Rays beat the Mariners 9-4. The Astros beat the Yankees 8-7. The home plate umpire missed 21 calls.
Yeah, he did.
According to a statistical service, 15 of them went against the Yankees in that game, including a called third strike on Jazz Chisholm to end the game that was about 2 feet outside.
Yeah. If I say anything, I might get suspended if I say anything. So I'm just gonna.
No, give it a shot.
No comment.
Come on.
This is why they should maybe go automated, so you don't have this kind of criticism.
I think we're going to say Manny should be automated so he doesn't say anything and get him suspended.
We have a censor button right on Manny. You're the one who's actually in charge of the censor button, so you'd have to be in charge of yourself.
Can't do that.
The guy was brutal last night.
Oh,
Come on, let's be honest. It was 21 missed calls. There were probably more than that. The NBA is reportedly changing the format of the All-Star game. The new format likely to have 2 United States teams and 1 world team playing in a round-robin tournament. The 2026 All-Star Game will take place February 15th at the Intuit Dome, the home of the Clippers. And the game will shift from the Sunday night format to Sunday afternoon, so you can watch a horrible All-Star game earlier in the day.
Yeah, no, this is going to work. This is definitely going to work. No.
I'm very confused by this. So they're playing 3 12-minute games?
Yeah, they do that. They're like stealing a little bit from the NHL, doing 3 different games in a format, and
they're still doing that.
I mean, I don't mind the games. I'm just how many they're doing this all in one day?
Yeah,
in one day.
How are you going to play 3 with 4 quarters?
Games.
No,
they're not full games, right?
They're not full game. They're 12-minute games.
Oh, I thought they were 12-minute quarters.
12-minute games, then you're going to have a championship.
Oh, I thought it was 12-minute.
Like the NHL
quarters.
does the All-Star game with
that makes sense now. I was trying to. I read this headline and story 8 times, and I'm like, I know I'm reading this wrong, but I don't know what I'm getting wrong. They should have changed the minutes. Because, now I'm thinking 12 minutes, if that's an NBA quarter. So I just assumed they were going to play 12-minute games, 12 minutes per quarter. So I was like, are they going to play 3 games in 3 days? How are they going to do this?
Guys would be dead.
Right, exactly.
The NBA players barely played to begin with.
They don't do any effort. Now they're going to give them the most effort? I was confused.
They'll play a 12-minute game, then they'll bring out a musical act you've never heard of before, then they'll play another 12-minute game, and then another musical act.
Well, it's going to be a musical act everybody else in the world has heard of, just not Peter Schwartz.
Right.
It's going to be brutal.
You ever heard of the Chapel Roan child?
But does the NBA deserve criticism for how many changes they've made over the last 10 years? Remember the Elam ending and
I don't know why they should have stayed with that. I thought they went away from that too quickly.
But they're just throwing everything at the wall. At a certain point,
it's an all-star game. Why? I don't understand why. People just don't want to understand. It's an all-star game. It's not a real game in any of the sports. So I have no problem with National League versus American League, NFC versus AFC, Eastern Conference versus Western Conference. It is what it is. It's an all-star game. Why are we trying to fix something that doesn't need to be fixed?
Well, that kind of ingenuity, Peter, it's going to take you right to the top. No,
Yeah,
everyone's trying to find an edge and angle to make it more interesting. People stopped watching. That's why they're changing around.
Then don't have it. Then don't have it at all. Just say these would have been the guys who played in the all-star game, and that's it.
Peter, you're a former GM of a football team. You want to throw money away? You get rid of the all-star game. You're getting rid of an opportunity.
Pending litigation on that, but anyway.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Not litigation against you.
Maybe I'm just old school, but it's National League versus American League. It's NFC. I don't know why it needs to get changed. It is what it is, and there's nothing in my mind you could do to change the format to get away from the fact that it's an all-star game. It's an exhibition.
But people did like watching the guys play somewhat competitively, and they haven't. So it's not like this is, it's always been this much of a joke. It was not. I've watched all-star games in the 80s and 90s and 2000, and it wasn't this bad. There's no entertainment value in watching them go up and down and just give zero effort. So that's why they're making the changes.
The Four Nations Cup took off like gangbusters with hockey because the guys actually gave a crap.
But you can't possibly do that every single year because it's too much.
We're not going back to that, Peter?
No, I don't. This year, I don't think there's going to be an All-Star game.
Yeah, we got the Olympics this year, right?
They're going to have some sort of Olympic send-off at UBS Arena in place of what was supposed to be the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah.
And then the All-Star game will be there next year.
Yeah, they got screwed out of that.
Wake us up for that one.
But you brought up an interesting point, Peter. If they got rid of, say, the Pro Bowl, like, how would you know who were Pro Bowlers? Like, you have to actually have – you can't just say this guy was a fictitious Pro Bowler.
Well, yeah, you can because now they do capture the flag and the Mannings out there. Basically, you have to, like, do a potato sack race.
I get Wait, I was just going to say, they don't do a game anymore? I didn't even pay attention.
Flag football.
And they do,
it's flag, isn't it?
Flag, no, yeah, but it's part of a whole, like, week-long thing. Like, they do these games during the week, and then it culminates in like
everybody plays at a flag football game.
Yeah, they all. Well, you
not
not the players that are either pulled out or are playing in the Super Bowl.
The O-linemen don't even step on the field.
No, they have different events for them, but they do play on the. Yeah, they do play. The offensive linemen play.
I think full 11 on 11 flag football game.
No, it's 8 on 8.
Yeah,
I think it's 8 on 8.
Right, so it's not all of them.
I think there's like 2 or 3. There's at least one offensive lineman who snaps the ball.
Shows how much attention we've been paying.
Maybe
but that was the worst All-Star game. The Pro Bowl was terrible because nobody was doing anything in the Pro Bowl.
No, it's just the guys wanted to go to Hawaii.
We had a punter have his head knocked off his shoulders, and then since then it's been all downhill since then.
The GOAT. That was a Bills punter too.
Ryan Mormon. I know when you said R.I.P., I thought you were going to say Mormon.
Oh.
He's alive, but barely after that.
Yeah. Wasn't Snoop Huntley in the Pro Bowl about 3 years ago? That was a big blow.
Yeah.
When a backup quarterback who played 3 games made the Pro Bowl.
Pretty sure Mac Jones made the Pro Bowl too.
Mac Jones was like his second string.
You had like 72 players say no, I don't want to go.
Yeah, Mac Jones was Patrick Mahomes compared to Snoop Huntley. Barely even played when he was out there.
Okay. Peter, thank you so much.
You are welcome.
Appreciate that. We got a lot more to do, including voting opening now. Maggie and Perloff, King of the Mountain. We're trying to find, we will find, the greatest NFL team of all time, individual seasons. Today, the 98 Vikings up against the 72 Dolphins. So Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Randall Cunningham up against an undefeated 17-0 perfect season for the Dolphins.
I just noticed something about this, by the way.
What's
and I'm
that?
actually very happy the Dolphins are here. You know why?
Why?
Dolphins have a second opportunity at a perfect season.
Right now.
Yep.
We started off with them, so now they could run the table, maybe.
That's a great question. Are they going to be able to run the table now against the greatest teams of all time?
Will they pop champagne after all this is done?
We can send a little down to the Dolphins.
Let's have them send us some.
Coming up, a little surprising that this was coming from Aaron Rodgers. Takes a lot to surprise us when it comes to that guy lately, but we'll tell you what it is next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
He's got something to say, infinity's mice. He's feeling the dismay. No NBA on NBC. What a shame. Just JJ Redick's wine ain't the same. Peter Bellotti is getting upset. Maggie, Perloff, can you hear his plea? Bring back the NBA on NBC. Set his spirit free. He misses Mom.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hav, O-H to the O-V. I used to move snowflakes by the O-Z. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROC. Hovey, fresh out the frying pan into the fire. I be the music biz #1 supplier flyer than a piece of paper bearing my name. Got the hottest chick in the game. Wearing my chain, that's right.
Maggie's at home feeling under the weather. She bet on Caitlin Clark, now she's missing the treasure. 2 million viewers, yeah, she had it right, but she's stuck at home hugging her Bills jerseys tight.
EJ's the king and he's ruling this show. Maggie and go with the flow. Fresh squeezed OJ, get it in my hand. Bow to your king, obey my command. But where's Peter Bellotti? He's gone again. The king's in power, but we're missing our friend. Andrew Bogusch with updates on blast. Gonzaga, Miami, and the Knicks kicking ass. Perloff's on juicer, Maggie's on call. King EJ's demands are at his beck and call. Andrew Bogusch keep the updates loud, but Peter Bellotti's ghost in the crowd. Where's Peter Bellotti? Ain't he in the band? While King EJ's demands, they're at his beck and call. Andrew Bogusch keep the updates loud, but Peter Bellotti's ghost in the crowd. Where's Peter Bellotti? Ain't he in the band? While King EJ's ruling, he's nowhere to stand. Bogusch drowns us in Met stats and Knicks scores. Bellotti's MIA like never before. Peter Bellotti, Houdini in disguise. We're sick of his act, his permanent goodbyes. When King EJ reigns, Pete's out the door, gone in the wind like a phantom encore. Where's Peter Bellotti? Yeah, who knows where? EJ's got his kingdom, but Pete's never there. With Maggie and Perloff, Bogusch on loop, we're rocking without him. Bellotti's a stew!
15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
What the is Aaron Rodgers up to today?
Pearl, we wondered how Rodgers would fit in with his new team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Well, turns out swimmingly, he's the only captain on the offensive side of the ball. So it looks like he's definitely earned the respect of all of his teammates. So we knew that. He's a 4-time MVP.
Yeah.
But
and the offense stinks.
Yeah, Rodgers named a captain. Here's the question we're asking when it comes to just week one here with Rodgers. It's kind of juicy that he's going back to MetLife Stadium to play the Jets where things just went so horribly sideways. But how much would a Steelers loss here kind of take the air out of the Rodgers season, the hype, all of that? Can they afford to lose this game?
Oh, no way. It would be devastating. Everyone in Pittsburgh would think, oh, no, we're getting the New York Jets version of Aaron Rodgers. And it will be an immediate and strong reaction.
Really? You think that the Steeler fans are just waiting to kind of go negative on Rodgers?
The New York Jets should be one of the bottom three teams in the league, according to all the Vegas odds. Like, this is one you cannot lose. It's on the East Coast. There's no travel excuse. This is, this one feels huge. Probably the biggest game of the year for them to date.
Really? You don't think there's any way they could? I see this totally opposite from you. I think that the first game of the season does not matter for Rodgers. Now, I can't speak for a Steeler fan and how disappointed you may be. but this is a Mike Tomlin team. You know you're going to be there at the end. Like, if there's any team that can avoid a slow start and you're convinced they're going to be okay, it's a Mike Tomlin team, no matter who's at the quarterback.
First of all, they're not a famous slow starter like the Bengals, so I don't see it that way at all. But you didn't really catch my joke. This is the most important game to date with Rodgers.
To date?
Because I haven't played a game with Rodgers.
Oh, yeah.
So
Sorry, that one went
the
over my
logic
head.
was, you got that right, EJ? Come on. I think that this is a big deal. No, I don't think there's going to be anybody who's calm and going to look at the big picture, especially if they lose to the Jets, Rodgers' former team. There's a little extra weight to this matchup. I think this would be what's that meme of the dumpster that's on fire that goes floating down the river?
Yeah.
Like, this would be so bad to lose this game.
Oh, gosh. I'm total opposite.
If they can't beat the Jets, no offense to your Jets, EJ, but who are they going to beat?
Okay, but to me...
Browns, and they have trouble with the Browns.
I know, but to me, like, first week one opponents, especially when you're working in a quarterback that got there a little bit late, like, it's still, to me, could be an extended preseason.
Oh, I know that's the rational way to view it.
Yeah, and I know that Aaron Rodgers is going to, he'll be calm. I think everyone would have a reason to feel calm. The big things are going to be their division games, obviously, because I think that division is going to be pretty tight outside of Cleveland. No, I don't think this is a big deal. And the fact about Rodgers playing against the Jets, yes, it's juicy. It's so fun to point and laugh at the New York Jets. It's so easy to do that. But talk about eras that are not going to be remembered. The Aaron Rodgers Jets era is going to be less than a footnote. Maybe not for EJ and people who are Jets fans, but as far as like history is concerned, no one's really going to remember that. So to me, it's not like, oh gosh, he's walking into this hostile environment. Like, it was barely anything.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It'll be exactly like Brett Favre with the Jets.
Yeah,
Brett Favre was probably a little more notable because there was scandal.
It was only one season. Yeah, at Favre, that was just embarrassing for all the off-the-field stuff with Jen Sturger.
Right, I think that's a little more memorable than the Rodgers-Jets thing. But, but still, I just think this one game, there's a lot of weight on this. Because there's some buzz and some hype around Pittsburgh. We saw when Mike Tomlin went on the Pat McAfee show, it felt like a Super Bowl parade. Maybe that's a bad idea by Steelers fans. I worry about the offensive coaching staff. Are they going to really know how to use Rodgers? Of course, you're right, rationally, Maggie. The big picture shouldn't matter. But this is a game, listen, we're doing our picks next. Like, the Steelers they have a thin margin in that division, Mag.
That's true. I'm a little nervous about this Cam Hayward thing. Like, the fact that he was upset about his contract. It did go into training camp. He was kind of holding in, then got back on the field. I don't know. It just feels like I know he's an older player, but he's actually a pretty significant piece to the defense. No?
I think the defense is going to be good as long as TJ Watt is healthy. It's what is that Arthur Smith attack? Are we going to see run on first down, run on second down? And, I don't care that the running backs, they're new and unstable. Like, I just do not see how this all comes together. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to hand the ball off 30 times in a row. He doesn't want to be a Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback. I think he needs to throw the ball. Is DK enough of a weapon with those young receivers like Roman Wilson? Are we going to see a bona fide passing attack? Yeah, I can't believe you're thinking that this is going to be just okay.
I think it's going to be fine. I think it's like all Mike Tomlin seasons. Fine.
Do you guys see that?
Since 2012.
Am I way off base here? EJ, what do you think?
Oh, if they lose this game, I think this is a big issue.
Mike T is the man.
I think that everyone kind of is chalking up Aaron Rodgers' failure with the Jets being more on the Jets and him just being there. Yeah. If he loses here, it's going to be kind of like what Kyle Brandt said yesterday. It's going to be like, well, you went to the place that always wins and you still lost. Like, something's clearly wrong with you. And I think that would be a storyline throughout the season.
I know, but if the offense is going to be anemic, like if they don't want Rodgers throwing the ball very much, that's not Aaron Rodgers. Like then you're trying to do square peg round hole.
Yeah, you could make similar rationalizations.
Yeah,
but I don't think people will. I think people are going to overreact.
888-710-4ISN. All right, we don't see this eye to eye. How important is this first week for Aaron Rodgers? Matchup against the Jets, apparently very big deal. Maggie and Perloff Show, we do our Super Bowl picks next.
You're in a 5-minute break. 4 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Philadelphia Eagles insisting that this is just another season, no title defense going on here. They're trying to Jedi mind trick themselves into thinking that they're the underdogs. Welcome to the show. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Obviously, we're all psyched around here that the NFL kicks off. College football was gangbusters week 1. I'm thinking that the NFL is going to follow suit, Pearl, but 2 questions about tonight's game. Number 1, Philadelphia mounting a title defense, right? And are they going to have read their own press clippings? Are we going to get more potential, frustrations with the passing offense if things don't start off great right out of the jump? Is this actually a team that's kind of teetering a little bit more than we last saw them, which was demolishing the Kansas City Chiefs? Did that make up for the fact that maybe this team was, not like as kumbaya as it made out to be at the end of the year? That's my question about the Eagles. And then on the flip side for the Cowboys, I mean, how do they look in their first action after the Micah Parsons trade?
Yeah. I mean, I think when you think of great Super Bowl teams that disappointed and didn't win the next year, a lot of times they start out red hot. I mean, that after Rodgers won, he beat the Steelers. Did they go 15-1 or something crazy the next year?
Yes, they did.
The 85 Bears in 86, they went 14-2. Then, of course, McMahon got hurt. Generally, what I fear for the Eagles is attrition because of injury. What happened to them last time, they started out 10-1, but they started to get injured. As the season went, they got some fatigue got in there, like you wear down over the course of the season. So I don't think, even if there is those issues you mentioned about locker room chemistry, I think that'll show its head way, way later. There's no excuse here. This is Dallas. Like, the hangover, I think, tends to hit later in the season for Super Bowl champs. So I'm not super worried. I mean, the interesting thing to me is, what do the Cowboys have in George Pickens? Dak Prescott's very comfortable against the Eagles. Like, that is not a problem. Even though Vic Fangio's new, they've been running a Fangio defense for a while, and Dak's had a lot of success against it. So maybe the Cowboys come out with a surprising passing season like they did 2 years ago? Or was it, what year was Dak's second MVP voting?
That was now 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. Like, we didn't necessarily see the Cowboys have that much success on offense. So maybe they don't need the running back. Maybe they don't need Ezekiel Elliott. Maybe Dak can do this. So there is a chance that the Cowboys come out high flying. I don't think they've solved the run. I think the Eagles, and also if you solve the Eagles' run, then boom, you're leaving A.J. Brown a one-on-one. That's hard.
Yeah.
Say what you want about Jalen Hurts. He may not be top 5, but he could throw that deep ball to A.J. Brown.
And Devontae Smith. I mean, you got multiple weapons there.
A lot of options.
I think what I'm a little bit more interested in the Cowboys side of this, so forgive me. And people will say, oh, you're playing right into Jerry's hand. Well, the guy actually did trade away one of the best pass rushers in the league 2 weeks, not even 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, I'm a little concerned, interested, all of that, and how the Cowboys look, both from a just, I don't say effort. Obviously, the effort's going to be there, but just like, does this feel like is this a hangdog team that feels like, the GM and owner traded away one of their best players, so they've waved the white flag on the season? Or is this really an addition by subtraction, which, they kind of implied that Micah Parsons was a me first, look at me guy who was distracting both with his hold in and also with his podcast, which I find super hard to believe, but here we are. And I'm kind of curious too, the X's and O's part. Can they actually be better against the run with new addition Kenny Clark, who, by the way, just got here, and they're kind of expecting and kind of playing him up like he's going to be this great, amazing elixir and this salve for what has been ailing the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, all you need is eyeballs on the Cowboys. When Micah went out last year, they looked terrible on defense. And when he came back, they had a whole different attitude. The numbers show it. He is the most effective one-on-one pass rusher in the entire NFL. He's impossible to block one-on-one. So now that those resources are not on Micah Parsons, where are they going to be? Listen, you have a lot of other health issues around your defense as well. Injuries from last year are lasting into this year. I know you paid DaRon Bland, but DaRon Bland is great. But that guy, the thing about the Cowboys corners is they always take big risks. You can beat them deep. I have a lot of issues with the Cowboys defense in particular.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So a couple things on the table for you right now, which is, how does it have to look for the Cowboys tonight? Is it important that this is a one-score game in the fourth quarter? No participation trophies. They're professional athletes, but they are an 8-point underdog. And again, they just traded away one of their best players. So is it important that this is close? This is also Brian Schottenheimer's coaching debut. So good luck with all that. You know, you're telling everybody you want to run the ball and stop the run. Well, see if you can stop Saquon Barkley. That's going to be hard.
Yep.
Another thing that Perloff and I do not agree on is another game, this one from Sunday, about Aaron Rodgers' debut with the Steelers and how important this game is for both the Steelers, Rodgers. If they lose to the Jets, does that take the air out of the season? I don't think so. You seem to think so.
Well, the Steelers host the Seahawks in week 2, so I guess they could bounce back immediately. Like, this would be a total and utter disaster. I think that, first of all, for some reason, there's been a bit of a change in the offseason where I think nobody was hyped about the Steelers because they got Aaron Rodgers so late that everyone's like, well, you know what? They're probably looking at 10-7. But now I think it's generated by Pittsburgh itself. Like, they're talking a big game. They're in the toughest division in football, arguably, the AFC North. They cannot afford a loss to a team that they should beat in the New York Jets, in the sense that the Jets are third lowest in odds in Vegas for Super Bowl chances and team win total. They just suffered a major injury on their offensive line. Elijah Vera-Tucker, they want to run the ball. That definitely hurts them. Like, they have no excuse, Pittsburgh, even on the road, to lose this game.
888-710-4ISN. So there you go. There's a couple of the games, obviously, that caught our eye tonight, of course. Like, this is all fun with, the Eagles getting to raise the banner. We're expecting every Philadelphia celebrity that's ever lived is probably going to be there. Do you think Stallone comes back? Do they redo
They don't need him.
this thing?
They've evolved past Sylvester Stallone.
No, they haven't.
Yeah. I haven't seen a lot of him lately. I mean, Bradley Cooper, Kevin Hart are such mainstays. Who's an interesting one? I don't know.
Mike Trout.
I don't know where Dr. Jill Biden stands.
That's dip your
She's
toes
a big
in those
deal.
waters. I am
She's a
backing
big deal
away.
in Philly, but she's from Delaware, and she's a very loyal fan. I think Abbott Elementary gets involved in this somehow.
Shocker.
It's kind of like a pregame little sitcom bit going on.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe Rob McElhenney from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Maybe he brings his buddy Ryan Reynolds. This should be a superstar-laden thing. For some reason, wasn't Hugh Jackman at the Chiefs game last year? Maybe Hugh makes an appearance.
Oh, boy. If you wanted a reason to make the Eagles fans more insufferable.
These just be celebrities. And it's the Cowboys, too. People want to see the Cowboys. But definitely Bradley Cooper. He's the number one. Is there any doubt he will be there in the building tonight?
No, but I've called him a fake fan before, and I stand by that.
What? Bradley Cooper?
Yeah.
Good for you, Maggie. Good for you.
Fake on what sense?
Because he always watches the game now from the suite. And I get it. He's famous. Like, he needs a little protection.
Like, he's going to go out of the crowd?
Well, yeah. Mike Trout's out there with a dog mask.
No one knows who Mike Trout is.
Well, that's a good point, too.
I think that he never has to sit out there in the rain, shielded from the cold weather.
I have no idea.
Sweet fans are fake fans.
I got to be honest. I have no idea how that man shoots 3 movies a year in places all over the world, and he is there. It's like, the New York Giants in Week 7, Bradley Cooper's there. That guy, his attendance at games is stunning.
Yeah, buy a ticket. 888-710-4ISN.
Wow.
Look, Boomer Esiason down the hall, right? Former NFL MVP, loves the New York Rangers. Buys a season ticket, not expecting that everyone's going to roll out the red carpet for him every time.
Well, the
Spike
Bengals
Lee buys the ticket.
Those are indoor events, Maggie.
The Bengals aren't going to buy season tickets for Boomer. I think we all know that.
Yeah, well, that turns out they're kind of stingy.
What the hell was that all about?
Shocker.
But you can't possibly say that Bradley Cooper is jumping on the bandwagon because the Eagles are good now.
Not jumping on the bandwagon.
He grew up hardcore Eagles fan.
I'm saying, just get a ticket out there, be out in the elements.
That's ridiculous. First of all, you won't even go out of the elements. It's the irony, and no offense, but you're not Bradley Cooper.
I do not like cold weather.
If the press pass from the parking pass is not delivered on time via FedEx, then you will not see Maggie in the crowd.
Don't tell anybody. All right, let's get to our predictions for this NFL season. Last thing in my own defense, when you spend enough winners upstate, I've got clout, I suffered through those winners. It's like I have them in the back burner. I did my time served.
Retweet.
Hypocrite.
Now I don't even go to a baseball game before Memorial Day.
Send that as a post on X. I'll give it a retweet.
There you go.
Hypocrite.
I did my time.
How dare you go after Bradley Cooper? The man is a saint.
All right, Pearl, AFC or NFC? Where do you want to start?
Let's do NFC, baby.
All right.
How are we going to do this?
It's your team is the champs, so why don't you get the floor? Give us your division winners, your wild card, and who's going to the Super Bowl from the NFC.
Okay. Both conferences, I'm embarrassed to admit I went a little chalky. Okay. In order, and these are my seeds. 1 seed, Green Bay Packers. 2 seed, San Francisco 49ers. 3 seed, Philadelphia Eagles. 4 seeds, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. 5 seed, Detroit Lions. 6 seed, Chicago Bears.
Wow.
7 seed, and this is a 3-way tie. I'm not joking. I played out every game. A 3-way tie. The Washington Commanders get the tiebreak over the Arizona Cardinals and the LA Rams. Those are my 7 teams. Do you want me to go ahead with the rest
go
of
ahead.
it?
Keep going.
Okay. Championship game. It ends up Green Bay actually beats Philly. I think if Green Bay was fully healthy last year, they would have had a chance last year. And they were my pick last year, to be honest. I'm in full confession. So I'm going back to the well. You add Micah Parsons. Here's one thing. The Packers could run with the Eagles. The Eagles were all about Saquon Barkley. Packers have a run game as well. Expecting Jordan Love to hopefully stay healthy. I got Green Bay coming out of the NFC. You're up.
Okay, I have a little similar. I have your Eagles with the 1 seed, Green Bay with the 2 seed, Tampa Bay is your 3 seed, San Francisco 49ers win the NFC West with the 4 seed, 5 seed Detroit. I also have Chicago. And
oh, man.
I have the Arizona Cardinals in as the 7 seed. I am not putting the Rams nor the Washington Commanders in the playoffs this year. Those are my 2 big fades.
Yep. Two big dropouts from last year's field.
Yep. And, I've thought about this a lot with the Commanders especially because they're the hot team.
Jaden Daniels.
We love Jaden Daniels. But, man, did they win a lot of one-score games last year. They got a little, I don't say lucky. They're a good team. But they were veteran last year. A veteran can turn to old in the drop of a hat. Terry McLaurin basically missed the entire offseason training camp. So I'm fading the Commanders. I'm fading the Rams. I think that if Matthew Stafford is not healthy and that shows itself early in the year, is there part of Sean McVay that's like, now's my chance to actually get a high pick? Arch Manning, to put that aside, just whoever coming out of college because they were ready to let Matthew Stafford go last year. Obviously they're moving on after this year, and now he's got the back issue. I don't think that Jimmy Garoppolo is the guy. I don't think Stetson Bennett's the guy. So Rams and Commanders out, Arizona in. I have my NFC Championship game, Green Bay versus San Francisco, and I have the 49ers back in the Super Bowl from the NFC. All right, AFC.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually thought about putting the Niners in as well because Kyle Shanahan is good in the early rounds of the playoffs. The actual big game, not so much. Okay, I got a lot depends on the week 1 game, how the seeding works out. But I have Baltimore as the 1 seed, Buffalo as a 2 seed, KC as a 3 seed, and Houston as a 4 seed. So the same division winners as last year. I mean, first of all, no one's knocking off Buffalo. I do not see the Steelers or the Bengals catching the Ravens. Kansas City, the demise has been talked about way too much this offseason. Now, I got to admit, you've got me nervous about the Houston Texans, but I stuck them in at number 4. Number 5, right behind KC, Denver Broncos. Number 6, Cincinnati sneaks in. And number 7, and I had to play out the whole season to get it this way, a third AFC North team, your Pittsburgh Steelers get in number 7.
Okay, I'll just save you the time. We have exact same.
Oh,
I know.
no.
I hate to do it. We do. I don't know how it happened. Denver, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati all as my wild cards, and I stayed with the 4 division champs. Sorry if that's super boring, but let's play it out. So who's in the AFC Championship game and who's in the Super Bowl from the AFC?
KC knocks out Buffalo. Have you ever heard of that one before?
Yeah, sounds familiar.
And then Baltimore gets revenge for that 17-10 loss in the AFC title game 2 years ago. It's got to happen for Lamar Jackson. It has to happen. At some point, the guy is too good to play this poorly in the postseason. Could say the same thing about Josh Allen, but he's already playing well. I think the defense in the second half of the season took off for Baltimore. Their overall stats are not good because they weren't good in the first half of the year. I think they're going to be innovative on defense, and they finally have the passing game just to a level where it's never been before. I got the Ravens coming out, so I have the Ravens and the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl.
You're a little bit too old to watch cards, but anyway.
That would be a fun one. I'd like to watch that Super Bowl, not going to lie.
You tune in if there was nothing better on?
San Francisco, I have from the NFC. You guys know that. As far as the AFC is concerned, listen, I'd love to talk like Josh Allen on Hard Knocks, where
Go
he
Bills.
said he's visualizing the parade?
Yeah, I couldn't
A lot
tell.
of people sent me that on Twitter.
I saw that. I was wondering if you liked that or didn't like that.
I like donuts, baby! So I could never. But I like that Josh Allen has that kind of confidence. You have to do that as a professional athlete, right? This is the visualization. I wish he was visualizing more of that last drive with the Chiefs instead of the victory parade. But anyway,
Was he visualizing Dalton Kincaid diving out of nowhere to catch that pass?
clearly not. And why does Dalton Kincaid feel like an afterthought when he has a first-round draft pick? But anyway,
She's getting heated.
I know. You can tell the season's about to start.
It's the music going on underneath. Like
pen drop as
Should
well.
we get a blood pressure cuff on her right now to make sure this whole thing doesn't explode in our faces?
She kind of threw her pen as well. I can already sense the
Oh,
Bills
she's
pressure.
banging the table. Here we go. She's banging the table.
I'm back, guys.
Go Bills.
Yeah,
Get the treadmill, plug it back in.
The season has arrived.
Get my husband's clothes off the treadmill, plug that thing back in. It's time to get walking. Until further notice.
Finally!
That was week 3, I believe. That's screaming. I can't give my Bills anything until they prove they can beat Kansas City. I can't do it. It's like not how I'm wired as a sports fan. So
You mean using common sense?
Well,
That's not how you're wired? Yeah,
easy.
I think, they can't beat the Chiefs, Mag.
They can't beat the Chiefs, and so I can't have them beating the Chiefs this year. On what? Wishes and hopes? What are we doing? Sunshines and rainbows here? I don't think so. So I have Kansas City facing off against Baltimore in the AFC Championship game. Kansas City has everyone's number. Yes, I'm predicting Kansas City back to the Super Bowl. A Kansas City-San Francisco Super Bowl for the 3rd time. And I think this is one of the, we remember it as this great rivalry, sort of, between Kansas City and San Francisco. And I think finally Kyle Shanahan gets his. I don't know why. Because I think this is the year where, weirdly, people are not on the 49ers like they were. I like to say they should have all these Super Bowl expectations, but that's not the that's not the vibe I'm getting from America.
Okay.
So I think this is the Kyle Shanahan sneaks up on everybody year, and this is the year they get Kansas City, and he gets his Super Bowl.
Okay, I like it. I actually really, really strongly looked at it. It was Green Bay or San Francisco for me. Here's my question. If this does happen, are you putting Brock Purdy in the top 8 quarterbacks in the NFL?
That will be a conversation for the offseason, Pearl.
Did anyone just hear Brock Purdy is elite there?
Nope.
Kinda.
I sure did.
You can't have San Francisco winning the Super Bowl without, therefore, ipso facto, giving love to Brock Purdy.
Listen, I always said this about San Francisco. As long as Brock Purdy is their quarterback, when they get to the Super Bowl, they will be at a disadvantage at the quarterback position. Like everyone else from the AFC, Josh Allen is a better quarterback. CJ Stroud's a better quarterback. Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback. Joe Burrow's a better quarterback. All the other AFC quarterbacks are going to be better than Brock Purdy, but I still think they can win the game.
Did you just talk about how Washington was going to get old all of a sudden? I mean, the Niners are ancient.
They also traded out a lot of that old
Trent
blood.
Williams, George Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, these guys are all amongst the oldest at their position in the entire NFL.
Having their wide receiver room be kind of injured and a little bit dicey right now, to me, is not the panic button alarm that other people seem to think it is. I think that Kyle Shanahan, there's a reason why people believe he's one of the most, outside of Andy Reid, inventive offensive minds that we have. I think he's going to be okay.
What is happening here? I've been defending Kyle Shanahan since I moved over from the Dan Patrick Show to you, and you've always questioned him in the big moment.
I'm zagging.
Well, you can't steal Kyle Shanahan from me. I'm the Kyle Shanahan defender.
Also, it'd be Kansas City 2 straight losses in a Super Bowl, and we can talk about that in my scenario.
They'd be the new Buffalo Bills if they lost to Kansas City again.
The 49ers.
Yeah, the 49ers. I mean...
No, I was saying if Kansas City loses San Francisco, now they would have back-to-back Super Bowl losses because they lost to your Eagles last year and then losing to San Francisco.
Good point.
Yeah.
But I would say if the Niners lost a 3rd Super Bowl to the Chiefs, it would be much like the Bills losing 2 in a row to the Cowboys. I think they would start to get that Super Bowl loser thing that the Vikings had way back in the day and then your Bills most famously had. By the way, did you see Sean McDermott breaking down to tears talking about how special the 90s Bills were?
I haven't watched the last 2 episodes.
Oh, my God. He's like, you don't understand how hard it is to get to 4 Super Bowls.
She's tapped out.
He wouldn't understand either.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, I did like when McDermott called Marv Levy on his 100th birthday.
Yeah, that was
touching.
nice. But I don't know, though. You don't want to be associated with that team because your new team is much like that old team. You can't get over the hump despite being awesome.
I realize that, Pearl. Thank you for pointing that out.
Now,
yes,
let me
it's
ask
starting
you-
to get a little shades of the 90s. I'm with you.
Take me to the Gray household last night. You're sitting there and you're thinking about the AFC and how it plays out. What is you did mention something about the Bills. Like, how do you really feel about the team this year?
So let me tell you, I am very concerned about the defense. I am. I'm
Okay,
very
that's
concerned
where
about the
you're
defense.
looking.
I'm not concerned about the offense at all. I try to talk myself into the rest of the division, and I think the Patriots actually are going to be a lot better, but they won 4 games last year. So if they win 8 games this year, that's a huge improvement. So I think that's about right. I don't know if you can expect a lot more from them. I don't know what the Jets are going to be, and obviously I think the Dolphins are going to be a disaster. So I do think they're going to win the division. The defense I am so nervous about, and to be honest, I like that Josh Allen is visualizing a championship parade. Do something different. In Buffalo, sometimes we get this idea, we're destined to lose. We're destined to lose. I kind of like that he's trying to flip it. As a fan, it's hard for me to get there with him until they prove it, but that's where I'm at.
All right. That sounded actually pretty reasonable.
Right?
Yeah.
We'll wait till the game start.
Yeah, I can't wait till Monday morning to see your reaction on Sunday night. This is a crazy weekend. By the way, we haven't even got into it. We're going to see the real virtual measurement on first downs tonight. There's going to be it's like a new season.
It is, literally.
You're going to see a new kickoff rule. There's going to be a lot happening in the next couple of days. And I feel like my picks, in the past couple of years, I've run into some trouble. I had the Packers. I was so confident in the Packers last year. So
You're going back to the well.
I never go back to the well. Usually when I get burned by a pick, I never come back. And that's why I'm zagging. I'm going to double down on a mistake.
Our question about tonight, Eagles, Cowboys, does this have to look a certain way for Dallas in order to avoid full-on embarrassment and panic? 888-710-4ISN. Maggie Perloff Show. I do not like cold weather.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
This portion of the show is sponsored by the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. Learn how it's so much more than just another SUV at HyundaiUSA.com. Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff show. I'm not sure I ever got to my actual Super Bowl winner last segment. We did our picks. I have the Ravens beating the Packers and Lamar Jackson finally matching his multiple MVPs with a ring. Maggie?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I would hate it for my Bills, but I can see it, Pearl. I have San Francisco and Kansas City for the third time, and I think third time's a charm for Kyle Shanahan. I have the 49ers beating the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. This is going to be the year that no one saw San Francisco coming. Sort of.
I really like the Chiefs pick because I think the rumors out there of their demise are way overstated. Like,
sorry.
They lost Tyreek Hill, and I thought that was going to be a big deal. It wasn't. Travis Kelce's getting old. That's not a big deal. Their offensive line, they find ways to revamp it. They paid up for some versatility. They got a steal in Josh Simmons, a left tackle. I don't think the Chiefs are going anywhere. I just think that the Baltimore Ravens feel like a bionic team. They were the number one offense by a mile last year, and they are the Baltimore Ravens. They play defense. So that combination to me says at some point they got to win a championship. And they have a championship-winning coach.
Kind of feels like in the NBA when this happens, when guys win multiple MVPs and then they have to finally break through. But they have. Giannis did it. Jokic did it. It does happen. You'd like to
Josh Allen, it could be too, by the way, not just Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the Bills have their own issues with Kansas City. They cannot get over that hump yet. So until further notice, it's interesting. I was actually reading a good article about this, like the fact that the Bills rely on Josh Allen for everything, for so much of their team is predicated on him. Is that actually a winning formula? Which was interesting. Dom is in San Francisco. Dominic, good morning, sir.
Hi, thank you for taking my call. Thank you for the shout-outs for the Niners.
Yep, got you guys winning the Super Bowl.
That'd be awesome.
You got the easiest schedule in the league too. See, that was another part of this, Pearl. We've been doing. Sorry, Dom. 1 sec. We've been doing this King of the Mountain. We started today. We're trying to find the greatest NFL team of all time. You can vote at Maggie and Pearl. Today's the first matchup: the '98 Vikings against the 1972 undefeated Miami Dolphins. And Pearl, one thing I noticed about both of these teams, they were great. They're both amazing teams. They had easy schedules though that helped their gaudy records. Miami obviously undefeated, and the Vikings were 15-1 that season. So, Dom, I think an easy schedule for San Francisco has got to be factored in.
and we're going to have the comeback player of the year.
McCaffrey?
Absolutely. Hands down.
Yeah.
He has to win.
Well, I think it's going to Aiden Hutchinson, but sure.
Would be the 84 Niners.
84 Niners were another 15-1 team, and they are in the mix of the 25 teams, Dom. Thank you. That we are picking from in this pool. So whoever wins between the Vikings and the 72 Dolphins stays the king of the mountain, and will bring them a new challenger next week.
Yeah, I mean, I think those 80 teams, that's pre-salary cap, less parity back then. That was a super team that stayed together for a long time.
Chris is in Lexington. Chris, you want to talk about Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers?
Oh, Maggie Pearl, yes. As a Pittsburgh native, Mag, all right. So I'm not delusional to think that we're getting the 2010 Aaron Rodgers that beat us back in that Super Bowl. But I am shading with you in the sense that, all right, yes, obviously a loss would be big. But I'm agreeing with you from the standpoint that it wouldn't wreck the season. What I need to see is, what Aaron was always predicated on, being a master reading defenses, ball out quick, on time. Does he show his age from that standpoint? Or is the offense just kind of sputtering, but he's not making, errors that we're just not used to seeing Aaron Rodgers do except for the last couple of years? You know what I mean? So that's what I need to see from him in week one. Obviously, a win would be wonderful, but I want to see, does he still have that juice left in the tank? And if he does, with that defense we're going to put out there every week, who knows? Who knows?
Chris, I think it's a good way to look at it. I mean, for Rodgers, I think that this is the type of offense that really, this is Arthur Smith, Mike Tomlin, like the last thing they want is turnovers, gambling, none of that stuff. And Rodgers is the perfect guy there because he doesn't turn the ball over. That's his whole thing. Right,
which is why they have to beat the Jets. I think it was in the break you disclosed that you have the Jets possibly winning in week 2 as well.
Yeah, I have this weird feeling the Bills are going to start the season 0-2, and then I think they're going to rebound and win 4 straight and be fine. But they've got the Ravens, big revenge game for Baltimore Sunday night, and then I don't know. I just have a weird suspicion they could drop that game to.
Yeah, but forget the Bills. That would mean the Jets could possibly be 2-0. The New York Jets,
and that'd be fool's gold.
Okay, Peter Schwartz, you're a Jets fan.
Fools.
Peter Schwartz, you're a Jets fan.
There's no way. There's no way.
That's your official analysis?
I don't know. Well, there's a chance they could win Sunday, but there's no way they're beating the Bills.
Wait, I saw this question yesterday on our sister station, WFAN. Do you boo Aaron Rodgers?
No. What? I would. If I was there, I wouldn't.
What?
I'm not going to the game, but I wouldn't boo him.
Don't be a freaking weirdo.
How do you not? Of course
because,
you boo Aaron Rodgers.
No, I would not boo Aaron Rodgers because, number one, the man chose to come to the Jets and took less money to come here. It's not his fault he got an Achilles injury. And last year, he had, and people think I'm nuts when I say this, but look it up. He had one of the best statistical seasons by a Jets quarterback in their history. I know the bar is not very high when it comes to that.
Got fewer wins than Zach Wilson.
No, but I'm saying, but if you look at his numbers last year, he had one of the best. I wanted him to come back. I thought he would come back and then draft a quarterback and have him tutor him for a year.
EJ, you disagree.
Why would you? Listen, I would boo the Steelers in general because you're rooting for your team.
Right.
But I wouldn't go overboard and just root again, boo Aaron Rodgers. The man wanted to be here. He wanted to come back. The Jets told him no.
Counterpoint, EJ Stewart.
Aaron Rodgers had the 29th QBR in the entire NFL. He did not have a good season.
I'm not talking about QBR on the whole.
Right, but it's about how he played last year.
I'm talking about, but he
did not play well.
I'm talking about in the history. He played crap in one game, and it was the one game that I was at against Denver.
He played crap against the Vikings. He threw 3 picks.
Okay,
what are we talking about?
But he
that was overseas.
I thought that was the game he went to. I was like, Peter Schwartz was in London?
The Denver, he was garbage in that game, too.
What happens in London stays in London.
But that was a rain game.
What's that?
The Denver game was the rain game.
It
was
a rain game. Yeah, he stunk in that game. There's no question. Yeah, and they also lost on a missed field goal.
I went to a Yankee game that day. I remember that game.
You wouldn't rather have Aaron Rodgers on the team than Justin Fields
not.
right now?
Aaron Rodgers is the reason why Nathaniel Hackett was there. Aaron Rodgers is the reason why they kept Zach Wilson as the backup quarterback. Aaron Rodgers is the reason we still got this bum Alan Lazard playing wide receiver.
Well, they
what
can
are we
cut
talking
him.
about?
They can cut him.
He's the reason why this team was set back so much because we made everything about him.
Alan
We put
Lazard
the
or Aaron
whole team
Rodgers?
But
Aaron Rodgers.
What's the
Like,
difference?
What else?
I can't believe what you're saying today.
But what else? What else did they have? What else did they have? The guy is a future Hall of Famer. He wanted to play for the Jets.
Yeah, see, this is interesting. We'll see about Aaron Rodgers, whether he's going to get booed just because
Look,
he's the
I hope the
opposing
Jets
team.
sack him 20 times because he's the other team's quarterback. But I don't hold any grudges towards the man. He wanted to come here.
He wanted to be the vice president. I can't believe what you're saying today, Schwartz. He literally was like, "Are you doing me the Jets quarterback or vice president?" He's like, "No comment." And like this guy wanted to be a Jet. What are we doing?
I think he thought that the Jets were a bit of a sleeping giant, like Tom Brady with the Bucs, but the Bucs actually were. 888-710-4ISN. And, of course, Rodgers got hurt. Peter, what else do you have for us?
The NFL season does kick off tonight with two good teams in Philadelphia. Well, we think at least one good team. At the Super Bowl champion, Eagles host the Cowboys. Eagles head coach Nick Sirianni knows his team is well prepared.
Every practice that we go through, we're thinking about how did we tackle? How did we take care of the football? How did we take it away? How did we catch it? How did we block? And so you're just looking for those to constantly be on the rise.
As for the Cowboys, step one without Micah Parsons tonight. Wide receiver CeeDee Lamb says it's time to turn the page.
I wouldn't say it was easy for us to move on, nor would I say it's hard. It sucks. You know what I'm saying? It's just like a repetitive thought. Granted, we did get a great player in Kenny Clark, so let's not override that. But as Michael being drafted here, I would have loved for him to finish his career and with a star on his helmet, but obviously that wasn't the case.
And kickoff
Did
tonight.
I talk to Michael? Micah.
Kickoff tonight is at 8:20 Eastern time. The Cowboys are in a little bit of a denial here, I think, about Michael Parsons moving on.
Well, they have Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark better be like
problem solved.
Kenny Clark better be
Like
the
Aaron
greatest
Donald.
defensive tackle. If you picture Aaron Donald combined with J.J. Watt combined with that guy in Fast Times at Ridgemont High who killed everybody, that's Kenny Clark.
Kenny Clark needs 35 tackles tonight.
Did you see the latest from Schefter?
No, what?
Philadelphia Eagles made a strong push for Michael Parsons, according to Schefter.
Oh, God, why are you doing that to me? You know I wanted
Philadelphia
him
called
so bad.
Dallas to try to acquire Parsons, but the Cowboys had no interest in trading the two-time All-Pro pass rusher within their own division,
Good.
especially to the Eagles, sources tell Adam Schefter.
A smart organization, the Dallas Cowboys.
That would have been nuts to trade Micah Parsons at 26 to the Eagles. Then we would know Jerry's
That
lost
would be
it.
so stupid.
Well, he also mentions the irony of this whole thing that the Eagles and Cowboys previously agreed to a high-profile trade during the draft in 2021. Philadelphia moved up 2 spots to select Devontae Smith with the 10th pick. Dallas, ironically, used the 12th pick on Micah Parsons. So,
Well, right. But that was prearranged. It wasn't. And it was also in part to screw the Giants, which was just so funny.
Yeah, whatever, dog.
Speaking of Adam Schefter, he is also reporting that Jets guard Elijah Vera Tucker will indeed undergo season-ending surgery on his torn triceps. You want to blame that on Aaron Rodgers, too?
Oh, God.
blame Joe
Probably
Douglas.
is his fault.
Why is that Joe Douglas's fault?
Because he traded up for a guard.
Drafted him.
No,
Wait, so
it's not
wait.
his fault. Listen,
Well, it's a good thing. It's a good thing they
shame.
never
Because
gave
he
him
was
an
a guard?
extension.
Wait.
But it's a good thing that because people have been talking about him getting an extension. So thank heavens they actually didn't give him an extension.
Contract
Yeah,
year.
couldn't give him that.
Yeah, and thus concludes our talk of the Jets' offensive line for the season.
Guards are hot though. Like you want to pay guard. Like guards the new it position.
Guards the new tackle?
Well, I think people saw Tom Brady. Like you got to protect the middle. It's a huge deal. Obviously, you got Quentin Nelson. in it.
2007.
Yeah.
That's not new.
No, I mean I just think like guards are like people are like, oh, maybe we should put more investment other than left tackle. Like I feel like the whole line now matters. Like you saw the Cowboys drafted this kid Tyler Booker. Now I don't know. I'm scared of a good guard because that means run game. But that's why I think the Jets, like you have them 2-0. I think they're going to really possibly bottom out here. Anyway, and I think like that's why Aaron Rodgers cannot lose to this team. I'm sorry, it would be so bad.
Peter, thank you. Great job all morning. 888-710-4ISN. So there you go. How important is it for Aaron Rodgers to win this game against the Jets, or would the air kind of go out of the season?
I don't know
somehow
what
they
he's
drop it?
crushing, but he's huge.
Is it 3-point spread still I doubt the Elijah Vera Tucker injury would change the line, but you guys can check that out for us. Coming up, back to college for a moment. I know we're all excited about the NFL, but a question before Arch Manning takes the field again. We'll ask it next. Maggie Perloff.
Yeah, my girth is rather large.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Just want to start off the segment with a huge thank you. EJ Stewart, Andrew Kaplan, our King of the Mountain project has been launched. So thank you for the hard work. The graphics are all up on social. Cap did such a fantastic job. EJ, Dogged, and all of this. And so our first matchup was we're looking for the greatest NFL team of all time, the 1998 Minnesota Vikings against the 1972 Miami Dolphins. Whoever wins that matchup becomes King of the Mountain, and we will challenge them with a new team next Thursday, Pearl. Right now, the 72 Dolphins are running away with it.
Yeah, there's a perfect record that is standing in the way.
But how long? If they're the King of the Mountain, how long does that stand up if we get to other teams that also were dominant Super Bowl champs?
Well, the funny thing is, by the way, we only have, I think, 2 or 3 teams that did not win a championship. I think the Vikings definitely fit in that list. I think the recency bias will take over. I don't think a lot of people saw the 72 Dolphins. I mean, let's face it, when they're popping that champagne, there are less and less of them popping that champagne year by year. And we're going to get into a lot of questions about eras. Like, the league was much smaller then. It feels like it's harder to repeat now in a salary cap model with 32 teams. So I think people will take that into account.
I'm looking at, so the Minnesota Vikings, 1998, they were the third team at the time to go 15-1. The 84 49ers and the 85 Bears were the other 2 teams. Now you also add the 04 Pittsburgh Steelers to the mix, the 07 Patriots to the mix, the 2011 Green Bay Packers, and the 2015 Carolina Panthers. So now you do have teams that have had that gaudy record but not won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Gotten stopped in their tracks. Some have, 04 Pittsburgh, obviously.
Yeah.
But the other ones made it to the Super Bowl. Well, Green Bay didn't make it that year, but the other, New England obviously famously lost to Manny's Giants, and then 15 in Carolina was Von Miller taking over the game for the Broncos.
You look at any of these teams, what happened to that Panthers team's injuries up front. That just destroyed them. It's so hard to stay healthy for an entire season. And, we've been talking about the upcoming game tonight. I resent your implications that the locker room is going to turn on itself because we know what's going to happen here, Maggie. Injuries are the key. To win a Super Bowl, it's a league of attrition. You have the Niners winning it all, which I love that pick. I think they're going to be really good this year. But aren't you worried? Aren't you worried that Week 6, Christian McCaffrey's going to turn something?
I think this is where I got the inspiration last night looking at the Vikings and looking at the 72 Dolphins, that it does take a bit of an easy schedule to try to get yourself in this position. Now, listen, once you get to the playoffs, then all bets are off. Then you got to be up best against the best. But the Philadelphia Eagles, Pearl, you have one of the hardest schedules in the NFL, the way this works. San Francisco,
the Chiefs had a brutal season last year, made it to the Super Bowl.
Well, the Chiefs are 15-2.
Yeah, they beat everybody.
No,
I'd like to see your metrics. I don't think an easy schedule guarantees anything because a lot of times the best teams go through a gauntlet to get there.
I'm just saying that they can withstand, I think, a Christian McCaffrey injury. I think they can withstand an injury here or there, and it's still going to keep them afloat. So we got the King of the Mountain for you to go vote on. 98 Vikings versus 72 Dolphins. Also asking you a question a little more urgent, which is, how does it have to look for the Cowboys tonight to avoid utter embarrassment? They traded away Michael Parsons not 2 weeks ago, said they want to sell out to stop the run. Well, here's Saquon Barkley. So how are you going to stop him, if at all? And what is riding on this for Dallas? Because if they get blown out and they lose 30-13 or something tonight, I think it's going to set off even more panic. All those Jerry was right stuff is going to go out the window if they lose and get crushed by your Eagles.
Yeah, I think there's 2 scenarios that would crush Cowboys fans. What you just described, getting blown out. But I think if they lose a close game, it's also going to be horrible in Dallas. I think that would almost be worse. Like, they're going to be like, same old Cowboys. They are really down on this team. Despite Jerry trying to sell this as a good long-term move, I think there's so much negativity. We're getting it through our phone lines, Maggie. I think a close loss would also be devastating. I mean, come on, Cowboys fans right now. If they lose a close game to the Eagles, it's going to be like, why do we hire this guy? He has no big game experience. Why is Jerry talking all this talk? Like, we're clearly talented, but we're never going to get over the hump.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. And just another headliner here. I would never accuse you of being a homer. We accuse you of being a bandwagon fan, but not necessarily a homer. I think you look at your team with fresh eyes, clear eyes, but you are
my Milwaukee Brewers.
you are not picking the Eagles to repeat as Super Bowl champs or even get back to the Super Bowl.
No, I just think it's so hard to stay healthy year after year. And then again, listen, I picked against them last year, and it worked out well for me.
But you're not doing that thing, are you?
No, I'm not doing that thing.
Hedging?
I really do think that we have and I don't know if we can get that Saquon Barkley quote ready. I think last year's team was an all-time great team, but it doesn't feel like the fact that the Chiefs repeated was such a miracle. To stay healthy enough is unbelievable to me. We have some sound last night. They did America's Game on NFL Network of Saquon Barkley talking about where that Eagles team from last year was in history, and it's so relevant. I want to play it, Maggie, because it's exactly what we're talking about.
How about this? 66 was the first Super Bowl. You take all the way from 66 to 2024, and you do a March Madness tournament. I think we come out on top, or we're at least making it to the Final Four. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, last year's team could have been all-time. It just doesn't matter because everything kind of worked out health-wise. If Lane Johnson gets hurt, if anybody who's 35, any of that falls apart, it's a long road back.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of counter to what Barkley's saying? If you're an all-time team who, if you put in a March Madness-style tournament with all the greatest teams in the Super Bowl era, that they would be a Final Four team, shouldn't you be able to overcome an injury here or there?
Look at our top 25 teams. So many of them did not repeat. Even the elitists of the elite do not repeat often because of injuries.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I believe that's true. I mean, there's probably a lot of future Hall of Famers on the field. I think also Barkley can say this because of how they beat the Chiefs. And usually I don't really care how the game goes down. Like, you win by a field goal, you win by 3 touchdowns. What does it matter? You won the Super Bowl. But I kind of think it does matter how badly they blew Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid out of the water. And we all know why. We know it was the offensive line was banged up, but still, like, that was so dominant. I did not think of them as a dominant team until that moment.
Yeah, I mean, they started out 2-2, then they basically didn't lose again except for one game where Jalen Hurts got a concussion against Washington. I kind of agree with what you're saying. Those playoff games were a little dicier. The 2 first ones.
You almost lost to the Rams.
Almost, yeah. I mean, first of all, they were a much better team than the Rams. They just took their foot off the gas at the wrong time. I think the field messed with them almost as much as it messed with the Rams because it was snowy. So it was a really, really good team. But I thought the 2017 team was really good too. And honestly, I thought the 2019 Chiefs were a great team. I thought Tom Brady could run it back with Tampa Bay. We always think that, but then the actual reality of the season, it's usually injuries.
So, bigger question for tonight about all the Philadelphia celebrity fans. Is Will Smith back? Our audience is saying 95% no. I don't know if he's ever getting back.
That might be one of the most lopsided polls ever. I can't believe that was so high.
There's no love for Will Smith. He may have at one point had like the highest Q rating in America, and it's just gone.
Yeah, no, well, it's not just the slap. It's also his movies have gotten worse and worse and worse. He's had some real duds in the last part of his career.
Then that Netflix movie, wasn't that like garbage? Like when he was like, it was like him versus himself. Like he was a younger version.
Yeah, Legion or something?
Yeah, something like that. I think that was trash.
Remember the superhero movie Hancock?
Of course, yeah.
That was not well done. That was a bad idea from the start, and it did not work.
Sorry about this, Dr. Phil, or Mr. Phil, Uncle Phil.
Oh, yeah, Uncle Phil. Now, that was a great role.
Oh, man, the guy was on fire early in his career.
Also, I'm a little surprised by this poll result from today. Kawhi Leonard caught up in the crosshairs of this NBA scandal, whether or not the Clippers were circumventing the salary cap by giving Kawhi Leonard a no-show job. Yeah, does Kawhi Leonard have the best laugh or the worst laugh? I can't believe you guys think it's the worst. 71%.
You can't honestly be surprised by that result.
Sometimes I don't. Laugh.
You were surprised by the most obvious. Everybody, that's the most made fun of laugh in all of sport.
But what about when a laugh fits somebody so perfectly?
That's true. It's the best clip.
Yeah, Kawhi might be in a lot of trouble. And the Clippers. EJ Stewart, thank you. Manny Rodriguez, thank you. Peter Schwartz, Andrew Kaplan, Guido's Coffee Drinkers, Perloff, good luck to your Eagles tonight.
Thank you. We don't need it.
Football!
You're in a 5-minute break.